I wish that was the first thing that we got to see on the recording.
Well, guess what? Now it is. Hello,
Yay!
everyone, and welcome to the cluster that is this podcast. Super Cast Brothers, be lucky that you didn't see the pre-show. I'm Zantok, otherwise known as Lister. Of course, as always, we have Jonno, otherwise known as John. Please, no. And our guest for today is Eebit, the E-Bear himself. Today, they will each be competing in how to most mentally murder me. Because, oh dear. Oh dear.
Yeah. The Olympics.
God.
It's my favorite time of year.
Call me strong.
It's not... There's not... Is there an Olympics this year? I don't even fucking know.
It already passed, yes.
I didn't think there was... I don't watch the sports ball, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Sports ball.
I don't know.
Could you name, do you think, 3 Olympic sports?
Soccer. What's the one where they spin the ball over? Shot put.
Okay.
No, that's not shot put. Shot put, they just throw it. What's the spinning one? You know what? I'm not going to worry about the spinning one. Track.
Yeah.
Hammer toss? Is that what you're thinking?
That's the one! That's what I was thinking of. Soccer is also there.
Nice.
There's my official third one. Fuck you. Did I say that one?
You did say soccer, but I'm trying to remember if it's actually at the Olympics or if the
It
World
is in
Cup.
some. I know it's in some Olympics.
Yeah.
Luge.
I'm cultured myself, so...
Skiing.
Yeah, different Olympics, different set of things,
Fencing,
but yeah.
maybe? It's in one of the Mario and Sonic Olympic games, I think.
Hey, there we go. Back to the video games. Keep it on topic.
Exactly. That's what we're here for. So, Olympic Sonic is going to be our next fighter in Smash Brothers. He only uses moves in the Olympics games, and it will still be a better move than what we currently have.
For Sonic?
2 spin dashes at a spring, as the saying goes.
You don't love spinning? That's all he does. He go vroom.
I mean, you're not wrong that it's all he does, but it's all he does. He has.
I don't see the problem.
There's no he does more things than like Sonic Battle. I guess. I've only played 2 Sonic games. I don't know. I played Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood. I don't know what's in a Sonic game.
Nice. Which Sonic game? Which is your favorite of the 2? Sonic Unleashed or Brotherhood?
Well, I gave up on both of them, and that's pretty bad when I give up on an RPG.
Mm-hmm. The soundtrack in that game is so bad.
So I'm gonna go with Unleashed because of that.
Yeah, there you go.
Dang,
when you make me give up in an RPG.
I think I remember seeing screenshots of that in Nintendo Power way back. And I was like, oh, cool, like, this is probably the one chance I have to interact with the Sonic franchise, because it's an RPG, and I was like, oh, cool, like, I'm not really big into the platformers, like, I didn't grow up with Sonic, so I feel like I kind of missed the boat of what makes it special for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was just kind of, I thought Brotherhood would be, like, a really interesting concept. I always like those kinds of things, like you remember seeing like the Mushroom Kingdom Hearts type of posts.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like kind of genre bending of conventional expectations. Like I always like that. I always think that's a lot of fun. So that's a shame to hear that you guys weren't into it, because
the only things I remember about it at this point is that there was a tapping mechanic for like when you're doing your attacks, tapping in certain spots. Which that's fine. And then I remember that the villain was like an evil hedgehog or something. It's like, okay.
Original character, do not steal? Or?
Yeah. I mean, and it's like she had this body armor that was just like, all right, we're going to put complete armor over your spine. It's like, man, that looks really fucking weird, but okay.
Nice.
It's like giving yourself armor for every hair tip that you have. Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, it was Christine the Hedgehog.
No way.
Spelled with a K.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, the only reason I even bought Unleashed was because Sonic was out of the brawl, and I was like, okay, he's in Smash. I should buy the next Sonic game that releases, and that was Unleashed. I was like, okay, I'll buy this. Why am I a werehog? Okay. I don't fucking... I didn't finish either of them.
There's been a strange groundswell of support for Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Unleashed mods recently.
What?
Like, people have gotten... They're like, actually, the game is pretty good. When they, like, ticked it up to 60 FPS, they're like, okay, there you go.
I mean,
I've never played it.
I didn't hate it, but I also just, like, it platforming me fighting... I was like, fucking, what am I doing?
Yeah, it was
I had to turn the difficulty down in Ghost of Tsushima, okay?
It can get difficult in Ghost of Tsushima, even on easy sometimes. So.
Yeah, and the DLC added shamans that will chant and empower your opponents, so now they take even more to kill. It's like, cool, thanks. What the fuck? Bastards.
Seriously.
Bastards all around.
Truly, just like this podcast.
Yes!
Bastards all around.
Yes.
Hey, cheers to that.
Our very own shaman, Jake, is here. And Eebit, if you will. EB boy.
Oh, so he's an E-boy.
I don't.
Yeah, he's growing out his hair a little bit.
Oh no!
You can feather your bangs. Yeah, just get like frost colored eyeliner, just a little dab, make wings. You're good.
It's
like, I don't think we're gonna do that today.
Fan artists, get to it. Oh wait, we don't have it. Okay.
Ooh,
That's
boy.
okay. That's okay. I don't mind.
Now, given Sonic rants and all this BS aside,
yes,
this is the ultimate episode of the season. This is the Tournament of Champions.
Yes, it is. Our final episode of Season 3. Why have we been on this long? Listen, we don't have lives. That's
you
the
and
answer.
I keep our lights on in our house, and it just kind of happens.
Yeah.
That's the studio.
Pretty much. So, as of like the last 2 years, Tournament Champions, we'll be going over the winners of our previous Smash Bros. Episodes from this past season, putting them against each other in a tournament bracket, and finding out who is our collectively most wanted character that we've discussed of the season. But before we can get to that, this season we've also been doing Rate Their Chance, where we've been picking 5 characters each Smash Bros. Episode and giving them our thoughts on how likely we think they are to actually join the cast of the next Smash Bros. Game. However, since we have so many Smash Dash matchups to discuss today, we are not going to be adding any more characters to our Rate Their Chances today. Instead, I just thought it'd be nice to go over a brief overview and highlight the top 10 characters that we gave our highest scores to throughout the entire season, which should be interesting because Eebit, unless he's been watching the episodes, has no idea who we've even discussed and who would possibly make the top 10.
Real shit.
Real fucking shit. So, our top 10 our top 10 Rate Their Chances characters of the season. Starting off with number 10 with a score of 40.5% chance to join the next Smash for this game. Skull Kid. Just above at 41%. Crystal. Of the two of them, at 43.3%, we have the Balloon Fighter.
Oh, that's interesting.
Do you think it should have been higher or lower?
So I'm a Balloon Fighter apologist. I think, like, growing up, I always thought that, like, Balloon Fighter or Mock Rider or something like one of those types of characters would kind of answer the call of Smash. Just like in light of when we had Melee, when we had Ice Climbers, when we had Mr. Game & Watch, I was like sure that Mock Rider or something, particularly Mock Rider, but I do love a good Balloon Fighter.
Yeah.
But with that said, with the latest games, with Balloon Fighter making a fairly prominent appearance in or at least the reference to it making a fairly prominent appearance in Villager and in Isabel's moveset, I would probably say I would give them lower chances than even what you guys have given Balloon Fighter. I would say probably I would see Skull Kid or Crystal making it big time before.
Interestingly, when it came to that episode, Jonno and I gave Balloon Fighter a 50 and 65% score, but our guest that episode was old friend Flame Zone, who came in and gave him a 15% chance. I don't remember the reason, but it's probably because, as you mentioned, the Villager connections and how he uses the balloons in his Smash move set. But I mean, hey, movesets can change.
Movesets can change, but when you have a very core gimmick like that,
yeah.
I'm kind of with Flame Zone on that one.
That's fair.
One of our arguments, and this may just be us projecting wants here, is
the Iwata factor.
How Balloon Fighter is an Iwata developed game and wanting to honor,
give an homage for sure.
But above Balloon Fighter, we have at 40.
Very nice.
That's
nice.
At 47.3% chance, we gave King Boo.
Really?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm confused. We're reading bottom to top here, right? Like
bottom to top. Bottom to top.
All right. So okay.
Now King Boo, I think the reason why I gave him my higher score, which is in the 60s range, is because of the what the fuck factor. We just got fucking... Who would have guessed Piranha Plant, sir?
Yeah. I was kind of wondering if that factored in.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, it did. Skull Kid, I think, was lower just because he's already a boss, and who knows what Sakurai will do with that. Oh, no, he's right. He's not a boss. But we think Sakurai would be more likely to make him a boss.
That's fair.
And then Crystal is because where the fuck is she? Where's she been in the Star Fox games?
Where have the Star Fox games been?
Yeah.
Same spot.
Yep. Well, they clearly have as much worth to Nintendo as the title of their most recent title, 0.
Ooh, zing! Some very zingy sound bites lately between the Sonic 8 and the. This is a spicy episode already.
I haven't played Star Fox Zero, but the fact that half the series is about the Lilat Wars and the same fights in the Lilat Wars does not speak well.
Right.
That's all I gotta say.
It's like if Star Wars episodes 1 through 9 were actually all just The Empire Strikes Back,
or if they were all about the Skywalker. Oh, shoot! I've said too much.
Now, I'm sorry. The final episode of Star Wars is actually just about Babu Frick. I don't know what on earth happened for the rest of the other 2 hours.
Somehow Palpatine's returned.
Somehow.
Like, we actually explained it in the interdisciplinary novel series. It's like
put that in the fucking movie, or at least in the opening scroll. God. Honestly, I blame Rian Johnson. Well, I don't fully blame Rian. I blame Lucasfilm for not coming up with a plan before they even made the first movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, they were just like, oh, here's 3 directors.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. Good luck.
Now this next one might confuse you even more, Eebit. Because coming in at a score of 53.3%. And granted, all these scores, these are still low. These are all low scores, so we haven't gotten to the real high scores yet. But our next one at 53.3% is Leon S. Kennedy of Resident Evil.
So you know what? I actually think that scans. I kind of even think it's low. Like, of the trend that we saw towards the end of Ultimate, and especially with the DLC fighters, like, it's very much like being a game of how can we showcase all. It's been a game, but it's been a game of like how can we showcase all of gaming's greatest cinematic masterpieces, wonders, like the icons, the titans, all that kind of stuff, right? And
yeah.
I actually do think that Resident Evil is, despite not having played the games myself, like that's like one of the iconic game series that's out there. There's like 7
When
games.
you
And they've
think
all,
of
or
classic
a lot of games,
horror
and they've
game
all been remade.
franchises, you think of
Yeah.
either Resident Evil or you think of Silent Hill. It's one
Totally.
of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that of those two, and like not that they're related other than really both just being horror-centric games, but like of those two, I think that the stronger brand recognition would be Leon Kennedy. Other than, I guess, if you have like the Pyramid Head or whatever, but from Silent Hill. That's from Silent Hill, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
It's interesting because I think we discussed Pyramid Head in a Smash Bros. Episode at one point, and when I was doing my research on the character, I found out that he has nothing to him. All he does is swing the giant knife. It's literally it.
All Balloon Fighter does is fly around. What are you telling me about his chances here? Anyway.
Pyramid Head is a Fire Emblem character?
Fair.
It would boost his chances.
As far as like Leon is concerned, his score, I know I had him lower for 2 reasons. One, there are the rumors that Resident Evil is supposed to get a character in Smash, but the deal fell through. So it's like, okay, well, it fell through, so maybe there's something going on there. But then also, of the Resident Evil characters, which one are you picking? Is it going to be Leon, or is it going to be Chris, or is it going to be Jill? I don't know. So that's why I couldn't like bank too hard on one of the main characters. Because any of them could feasibly be chosen.
It's going to be Albert Wesker in his mutated form.
Yeah. I mean, he just got added to Dead by Daylight as a killer, so.
Yes, sir. I would love... One of our platforms here on Supercast Brothers is we would love for it to be Wesker who's the choice, even though it's never going to happen.
Actually, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's a better way to wrap the series with its villain.
Mm-hmm.
But that is our those were numbers 6 through 10. We are now getting to the top 5. We're finally getting in the scores that would get you at least a D in school. So
which means you pass in Canada, but not the United States.
No, you pass with the 60% in America.
Oh,
I think. I don't know. I was a good student.
Oh, I can tell you that.
Citation needed.
I don't fucking have my fucking transcripts. I'm fucking 30-something. Jesus Christ.
30-something.
Yeah. You want to out your age?
Undisclosed.
That's what I
16.
fucking thought, bitch.
Top
Anyway.
secret. Think about like the trophies in Melee where the game hadn't been released yet. Top secret. I haven't been born yet.
Or one of them was from GoldenEye, so they put top secret on it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
What was it? The motion detector bomb?
Yeah, the motion detector bomb.
Yep.
Classic. That's good.
Number 5 at 66.5% chance.
0.5.
Professor Egad.
Okay. That's all right. All right.
Okay.
I personally support him. I think it'd be fucking fun.
I could see it being pretty fun. I doubt it, but I could see it.
If he's not in the next Mario Kart, I'll be upset. Like, come on. What are they going to add next? Cobalt Blue Waluigi?
Yes.
Probably.
And then that'll be the Waluigi we get in Smash.
Dr. Goomba Tower.
Dr. Dolphin, yep.
I'm waiting for Dr. Goomba Tower, personally. What can we do a quick impromptu rate their chances? Anyway, sorry.
Dr. Goomba Tower, sure. 1%.
3% representing each Goomba.
Fair enough. Number 4, a character that many people might consider a shoo-in at 75% chance odds. Dixie Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No reaction. I think that's fair.
Yeah. It's mainly the question of, considering how long it's taken to get 3 Donkey Kong characters, how long it'll take to get the 4th.
I could easily see her making it in as an Echo Fighter Diddy.
Yeah.
Because
but I think
she was
it
one
would be
of like
a massive shame if that's what she was really good. She was like, Dixie's an Echo? Really? That's it?
I guess I don't see it as being like a huge, tremendous stream or anything, because she was part of the cut characters from Brawl, right? Like, or there was like game data
Diddy and
that
Dixie, yeah.
indicated that she may have been like a partner character for Diddy Kong. But
Yeah.
I kind of think that implies some degree of like interchangeability between the two characters, or at least some kind of tag system where they would have to play somewhat similarly, like a Pyra/Mythra sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like maybe
I
not
think they would have
completely
been.
the same, but
I think they would have been Ice Climbers like, but that the second that whoever was inactive, following behind, wouldn't be actively punching, but that they would be present. On
that's
the
interesting.
Stage. That's how I would. That's what I imagine they would do.
I agree. I
kind of figure it would be like a stop and swap sort of thing, like Zelda Sheik,
Yeah.
Pyra/Mythra.
Mhm.
But
yeah, that would work.
I'm taking it because that's how they work in Donkey Kong Country.
yeah, fair.
And considering how Sakurai is oftentimes with trying to be as accurate to the original game as possible, even though sometimes he's really not. Hello, Ganondorf.
One thing I'll say about that too is, I would love for it to be a regular, a standard moveset, of course, not an Echo Fighter. Given her, we're running out of legacy characters to include to Smash that are Nintendo owned. So it would be a nice nod of respect to her. Although at the same time, to Jake's point, it would be about as shameful as having a character like Dark Samus not have an original moveset, which makes no sense.
Of all the Echoes in Ultimate, Dark Samus is one that most deserves to be more than an Echo.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And Ganondorf still, I mean, yeah, that makes no sense either.
Yeah.
The clones.
You can keep Doria. I mean, that'll be fine, and then just give him. Yeah.
Oh man, Doria. We gotta play another round.
We do.
Playing Ultimate with just the worst latency online, and
Yep.
Jonno wins by charging up like the Doria on the one side of the stage, or the Little Mac full size Mac punch.
Listen, if Jonno's not winning via Doria, then it's Kelly winning.
Period.
Yeah, you're skilled. Kelly is an assassin in Smash, and
he's really good.
It's like
I don't know how he does it. I don't know.
When Kelly picks certain characters like Robin, it's like, all right, well, Kelly's gonna win this one.
I don't know where he gets it. It might just be a natural skill. Maybe
he's excellent.
Maybe he's like a werewolf or something.
Our number 2 and 3 are tied at having 80% odds of being in the next Smash Bros. Game. And they are Alf and Tails.
Alf.
From Pikmin 3.
Oh. Guys, these are some strange things that you guys are ranking here. What the heck?
What's so strange? What? Wait, hold on. What's strange about Alf?
Wouldn't it just be, okay, I guess, like, odds are decent that maybe he's just another costume of Captain Olimar. So, yeah, fair enough.
That's the reasoning.
Yeah.
Considering he could easily be
I'm coming around. But I'm thinking, like, of all the characters you guys think have the best odds.
Now keep in mind, these are averaged rankings. And some episodes had a guess, and sometimes those guests massively threw off our numbers. Like we mentioned before, Balloon Fighter.
Blame the guests, always.
Oh yeah, of course I'm going to blame the guests. It's classy.
There wasn't a guest on the episode where we put Alpha on 80%, though.
That's true.
There was no guest, or there was a guest?
There was no guest. Actually, we both gave Alpha and Tails 80% scores individually. So that wasn't even an average.
So the average was
80. Yeah. So now the question is, who was our number 1 character of the year? Now, Eebit, I'm going to give you just one random fucking wild guess. Just like, who do you think we gave? You don't even know who the fuck we rated over the course of last year. So what character do you think we put above all these other 9? At a score of 92%.
Okay, here's what I'm thinking. Based on like all of these scores that I'm hearing and all of these random things, it's got to be something just just completely out there, just a very random, like, nobody's voting for this person, but like, you remember when you walked into like these kinds of rate their chances threads back in the day, and like you come in and you're like, who the hell voted for
Who's
something like
nominating Black Shadow?
Yeah, exactly.
Who nominated
like that.
Starman from Pro Wrestling?
Yeah.
Who we gave a 7.5% chance.
I'm thinking it's got to be something like Mike from Star Tropics or something like that. Like just something completely out there.
You think 99%? You
guys are like, this guy's a
92% chance.
Sorry, say that again?
You think we gave Mike from Star Tropics a 92% chance?
Yeah, I'm thinking you guys are like, oh, Mike from Star Tropics. He's a shoo-in. He's a must-have for a legacy vote. No, I I think more realistically, it's probably something like Gino, for instance.
Interesting. Is that your final answer?
Yeah, that's my final answer.
Well, I'll tell you first that we did not even rate Gino in this past year.
That's fair.
So our number one highest scoring character and rate their chances this year, where I gave them an 85% chance score, Jonno gave them a 99%. And our guest, who I'm going to check real quick to see who even the hell
Suji.
that was. Okay, yeah, that was Suji. You don't know Suji, so that bears no relevance to you. But Suji gave the character a 92% chance. That character. From Animal Crossing, Tom Nook!
Hey, okay.
And you're telling me Mike from Star Tropics?
I didn't seriously think it was going to be. But, like, it evokes that feeling of walking into those threads, and it's like, damn, like, where did you guys find this character, and why did they somehow scam their way to the top in this Game Packs thread? Like,
because people troll.
That'll be Captain Rainbow next year.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, we could discuss Captain Rainbow. We haven't done yet.
He helped a character find their sex toy. That's all I'll say.
True.
Which was that? Birdo?
What's Birdo?
Okay, yes. It was Birdo's Birdo.
Okay. All right. Well, then. I think it's time to move on to the main discussion of the evening.
Yeah, that's a Doki Doki Panic, all right. Oh, yeah, okay.
Nailed it. Good segue. Except you were too late.
Okay. Okay. So here's how this is going to go down. We've got our character bracket. In a moment here, I'm going to be saying the names of the characters that are going to be in our first matchup. I'll give some quick thoughts on them. Jonno, you'll give your quick thoughts. Eebit, you'll give your quick thoughts. And then afterwards, if there's anything else we want to say, we'll say that. But then we'll all give our vote for which character we would rather see added into Smash. Or in some cases, if you had to add one to Smash, who you're adding. Because sometimes you don't want either character. But hey, that's just how it goes. So our first matchup is going to be a wild one. I can't wait to see Eebit's reaction to the first
unloading
name.
this, huh?
You don't even know the bracket, sir.
Nope, but I can guess. Anyway.
Our first competitors are Beautiful Joe versus the King of Hyrule.
Okay.
Now, I'll clarify that when we say King of Hyrule, this is a amalgamation of, like, the king from Breath of the Wild, the king from Wind Waker, and whatever kings actually have character in the Zelda series. I don't remember. Kind of like how,
the king from A Link to the Past.
Yeah, kind of like how
Snake dead on the chair.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how Link himself is a
Philips CDI.
composite, and how Snake is a composite of Solid Snake and Big Boss. We just figured, fuck it, King of Hyrule. Why not? That'd be kind of funny. So we got a guy here who he's playable in two different Hyrule Warriors games as two different characters. The King of Red Lion's boat king, so he can turn into a boat for some of his attacks. Because why the fuck not? And then he's got his large sword that he has as his Breath of the Wild form in Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. We have a character.
Can we get a name check on Rome Boss Faramis Hyrule? I think that's his name.
That is, yeah. It's Rombos from his Hyrule in Breath of the Wild, and then it's
You have
King
to say it with
Daphnis.
You have to say it with the gravity that it deserves.
All right.
Bosphoramus Hyrule.
Very
Put
well.
some respect on his name.
Man, it's hard for me to put respect on a man's name who didn't give a fuck about what his daughter wanted to do with her life.
Ooh.
Yeah, King Rome was a dick.
He's a dick! I throw no respect on that man's name. Except for his time as being the old man ghost and being in the game spoilers, and where he's kind of fucking funny in that part of the game.
Pretty funny in that part
It's
of
like,
the game.
you stole my apple. Oh. Nah, it's fine. I don't care.
Just fucking with you. It's
okay.
cool.
Wait. How'd you get to the top of this church before me?
Like, I'm already dead. Hello.
Magic. It's me.
Met.
So yeah, King Hyrule, he'd be a humorous character at the very least. And then Beautiful Joe, who is his own comedy kind of character who can throw boomerangs, toss up bombs, and slow down and speed up time.
Yep. Which, I mean, Beautiful Joe writes itself as a fighting game character. We saw it in
Tatsunoko versus Capcom.
It is itself inherently a beat 'em up. Natural points go there for the. I mean, it's there. The moveset is there. The King of Hyrule. It's really, really goofy. Yeah, shout out to King Rome's ghost for sitting down dressed up as the old man and introducing Link to the world like he is like Sam from Lord of the Rings sitting at his pot. And Link's going up there. What's told us, precious?
That's how your Link is, eh? Very cryptid vibes.
Yeah. But it was pretty cool. And I love the idea of him working in the King Daphnis moveset too, with the King of Red Lions, because the idea of the king swinging around the King of Red Lions ship or becoming the ship and fighting as the ship.
I want him
ridiculous.
to become the ship.
It is ridiculous in a way that is absolutely feasible and has been done before in Smash with other characters. It is just ridiculous. It is a Smash.
Oh, sorry.
Half the alts are King Daphnis, half the alts are Bosphoramus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Bosphoramus. I mean, it has just enough syllables to seem foreboding. It makes me feel happy to say it. Yeah. Oh, those are my thoughts. If Hideki Kamiya followed us, he would cancel us, though, for not talking about Beautiful Joe.
He's already blocked us both on Twitter, and he doesn't even know what our Twitter handles are.
Yep.
Nice.
What are your thoughts, Jake?
I think that... So I never played Beautiful Joe. I'm not a very cultured gamer. But I haven't played a lot of these like cult classic type games, but I do know it is a cult classic, and especially around the time of like the Brawl hype cycle, Beautiful Joe was like a hotly discussed character as being like one of the characters people really wanted to see, and I kind of think that Wonder Red of Wonderful 101, I think that's the name of the game.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice. Okay, I know my games, I think. But I think that, like, Wonder Red kind of fills the same, like, comic booky niche as well, and I think is a more recent and relevant title. Granted, I kind of... Has there been, like, a Beautiful Joe sequel news type of thing?
I mean, it has a sequel. There are two games.
Oh,
yeah, there are two Beautiful Joe games out there, but it's been a long time since. Yeah, actually, I think I almost said Beautiful Jane. Yeah, it's been a long time since either of those games came out.
Yeah, I think that like John said, I think that the main kind of thing that Beautiful Joe for sure has going for him is like the comic book aesthetic, the beautiful kind of cell shaded graphics and the cartoonish effects that really lend themselves super well to a game like Smash. Plus, he's the main character of his games, which Mr. Bosphoramus Hyrule does not really have going for him, unfortunately. RIP in most of the games, and actually, I think like he dies in spoilers. He dies in Wind Waker. Dies in.
He does?
Shoot, spoilers for a 20-year-old video game.
No, I mean, I've watched an LP of it, but I legit don't remember that.
Oh, damn. Oh, my bad.
At the end, he floods Hyrule. He floods
Super
Hyrule
worth the
with
play.
Ganondorf's body, and it's done. Yep.
I had this.
Wait, when are we getting a side series of Lister playing through all the Zelda games? Like,
No,
when's that
listen. I am only good at some games.
Oh, come on.
I would not be good at Zelda games. Breath of the Wild is the only one that I put real time into, and I kind of lost my save file. I don't know where it is. And by when I say I don't know where it is, I mean that literally, because it was on a flash drive plugged into my Wii U, and I don't know which flash drive that is.
Oh, you played it on the Wii U. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I think that makes you one of like 3, so good for you.
Probably.
However, is another one. TurboTax is another one.
Yeah. I didn't get the Switch immediately.
Yeah, fair.
Because there wasn't a whole lot out for it in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. You didn't want to get 1-2 Switch?
Oh, God.
No.
Yeah,
No.
they can't even joke about it.
No.
Any joke that we could make your videos, you know.
I'm going to 1-2 switch your camera off.
Hey-oh. Yeah, anyway, I think that this is a would you rather type of format, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like which case would you rather have in? There's nothing about real odds here. Because if honestly, I don't know who I'd pick if it was who I think is more likely. Because they would both score very low.
I think so too. I think who I would rather is probably Beautiful Joe. Personally, I think that he's got some neat things going for him. I believe there's like some time travel type mechanics, which we also have a little bit of a taste of from Bayonetta, how they would do that in Smash, and it's worked out to decent effect, I think, with Bayonetta. So I think if I'm picking, I'm thinking I'd go with old Beautiful.
Okay. All right. Jonno, what about you?
King Rome, Bosphoramus, Hyrule, and King Daphnis, Nohansen, Hyrule, and King Dead Guy from Link to the Past. Yeah, they get my vote.
What about King Harkness?
King Harkinian. King Harkinian gets my vote. Yes.
They would absolutely be a CDI Link reference. Come on. Come on.
He's taking the Triforce of Courage.
Yep.
He's gonna take some fucking skulls.
From A Link to the Past, King Hyrule.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He'll hold it up like old Yorick.
Oh, okay. I'm coming around.
See?
But
See?
I'm coming
There's
around.
comedy here. Something I thought very funny that you mentioned, Eebit. You were talking about Wonder Red could be like would be like a more modern way to do Beautiful Joe.
Too, yeah.
Yeah. So in the Smash episode where we discussed Beautiful Joe, he was up against Wonder Red.
Oh, wild.
Yeah. That was the Hideki Kamiya episode where we put Wonder Red against Beautiful Joe and Jill Valentine against Dante.
Well, that's why you guys are blocked on Twitter. I see. I'm picking up the lore. I see.
Yep.
Oh, I voted for Wonder Red, and then you and Eric voted for Beautiful Joe. I remember this. Okay, interesting.
I tried to play Wonderful 101, then I got bored halfway through.
Ooh,
It didn't help that the drawing.
Why you're blocked on.
It didn't help that the weapon drawing mechanic was kind of funky. It's a little funky. It didn't want to work all the time. But as for these two characters, the one that I'm going to put my vote towards, that is going to be the king of humor. Which could go either way here still. But no, it's King Bosphoramus Hyrule, and King Daphnis Hyrule, and King Harkinian. Because fuck yes, he'd be funny as hell. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Turn that man into a boat, goddammit.
This is how desperate we are for one more unique Zelda character.
That's honestly true. Please give us something that's not Link, Zelda, or Ganondorf, or some other Triforce wielder, please. And if you are, it needs to be Tetra or Pig Ganon. Not another Link.
Yep. I will take Stone Talus at this point. I mean,
Let's
just
not go
give us-
too far.
yeah, yeah.
Let's not
I'd take
go
the
too
Coblin.
far.
I'd take Wallmaster.
I'll take Baby Sidon from Age of Calamity.
Oh my god! I'll take that snot-nosed kid from Wind Waker.
Colin
Okay.
from Twilight Princess.
He's the new Link.
Yep. Yep.
All
All
right,
right.
digging in deep here.
Yes. Our next matchup is going to be the Castle Crashers from Castle Crashers versus Dante from Devil May Cry, a character we just mentioned.
Oh my god!
Dante from the Devil
I'm
May Cry
sorry.
series?
Yeah, now featuring Castle Crasher.
Now featuring Castle Crashers.
Yeah. So, what's there to say about Dante that hasn't been said across the gaming sphere? This guy has a fuck ton of weapons. Yeah, he mainly uses his 2 guns and his sword, but he's got a fuck ton that they could pull from. Yes, he does have pizza. That's got to be one of his victory animations, is him eating pizza. But he has a fucking ton that they could do. There's more options than what Bayonetta had, and Bayonetta, they really just gave her the most basic choices they could have. Honestly, I hope that I kind of want them to get a little bit more creative with her in the next game if she's back again. Cast Crashers, the way I see it, you got 4 knights, so there's 4 costumes. They just swap in their different colors. They got bows, they got swords, they got magic. Pretty basic between the 4 of them, but it's a fun game.
Mm-hmm. It is a fun game. What is there to say about this matchup? It humors me.
In what sense? Tell me more.
You have a indie masterpiece of the Newgrounds era.
It's
A
true.
beat 'em up, if you will. A slash 'em up, if you will, of great humor.
It's a
And
modern
style.
arcade side-scrolling beat-em up.
Mm-hmm. Versus one of the most celebrated gaming icons of all time. I can't front. Obviously, this is extremely stilted towards Dante.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
Are you sure?
But Lister loves Castle Crasher, so let's give him the floor.
I mean, it's Jake's turn to talk next.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna say a little bit more of the same of what Jonno just said as well, because to be honest, like I've played Castle Crashers. It's a lot of fun. It's a good game. It's a good time. But it is a classic. I will say that it's very highly reminiscent of the Newgrounds era, and like it's a very big indie success story for sure. Now, and correct me if I'm wrong. We're just talking about like their chances of being a playable character in Smash.
Not chances. What we want to
Sorry,
see.
not okay, but as a playable
Personal
character.
wants. Yes, as a playable character.
In that sense, it's not. There's no brainer in my mind, and it's Dante because.
What?
Yeah. No, it's Dante. Sorry, Dante from the Devil May Cry series. For all the memes that everybody says featuring Dante, like he's pretty cool. Like he's as Jonno said, like a titan of the gaming world. And I said it already once, but I think it bears repeating. Like the trend of the characters that are being added now at this point in the Smash life cycle. It's what's going to be more of a spectacle. And what more of a spectacle, honestly, than a character that has all the memes that I'm sure Nintendo has to be aware of about Sonic and Knuckles and, and this and Funky Kong featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series. Like, that's easy marketing money right there.
Yeah.
But also, on top of that, if you're somebody who doesn't like the memes, like he's still an iconic gaming character with a cool, very varied moveset potential, lots of different tools for his kit. Like I think he's. I'd be surprised if he doesn't make it in, and I think that he's the character I would pick that I want as well.
A lot of
I
people were
would
surprised
also-
he wasn't an ultimate. I think it was Byleth. When Byleth was added, like there were rumors pointing towards Dante at the time. and then
Right.
Byleth came out of nowhere, and people were just like, "What happened to Dante?" And it's like,
Another
okay, wasn't
fire
happening.
I think out of sorry.
No, go on. We don't need to
I think out
rehash
of all
Byleth.
I know.
We don't talk about
We already-
Listen, Byleth has been a running joke on the podcast since Byleth was added to Smash, and I feel like at this point, since we remade Byleth's moveset earlier this season, I think at this point we can retire Byleth.
We can bury
Like we've done it. It's done. Go check
And
out
did we
that
make the
episode if you want
moveset
to see
better?
how Byleth works, or just look at his page on the Smashtopia wiki. Either or.
Yep. Yeah. Looking at, I am myself surprised that Dante was not included in Ultimate. In hindsight, certainly most of the characters that we received as DLC were worthy. We got some crazy inclusions like Sephiroth, for another white-haired swordsman individual. Crazy. But so I don't hold anything against the selection, but it is a little surprising in hindsight. And I also think that out of all the Capcom characters, of which there are many, none of which we had DLC of, which is even more surprising than Dante himself not making it in. I guess maybe the level was we got the Monster Hunter boss, but you have Leon and Jill, the Resident Evil team, Amaterasu, Monster Hunter,
Phoenix
more
Wright,
Street Fighter, Phoenix Wright,
Mega Man.
Yep. Beautiful Joe. There's so much to pull from, many of which are top choices. You have your Phoenix, you have your Amaterasu, but Dante, I mean, all of my considerations aside, all of my bias aside, I mean, by far, he's obviously the choice, I think, out of any Capcom character to make it into the next Smash. And most third parties, too. Period. That said, I'm voting for Cat Dante.
I thought this was going to go another way. I was really
on the edge of your seat. Yep.
So, jokes aside, about Cast Crush would not. No, I am voting Dante as well. It's like, listen, Cast Crush would be out there.
Yeah.
It's not ever happening. Would I lose my fucking shit? Yeah, for multiple reasons. Like, one, because there's no fucking way it should be fucking happening. It's like, Sakurai, what drugs are you on, sir? But it has to be Dante out of these two characters. I don't know if I'd say he's my top pick out of Capcom. Actually, we had an episode that discussed this just last season.
Links downstairs.
I mean,
just
check the playlist. But Dante is an amazing choice. You cannot deny his presence on gaming, what he's done for the genres, and just where he is in Capcom, representing a whole section of them as well. Like, you got to go Dante with this matchup. But between all the other characters today, I mean, who knows? But
who knows?
Yeah,
he's a contender, but he's
not
the contender. It's we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Perhaps the contender will be in this next matchup, though. Because I now give you KK Slider of Animal Crossing versus the Lemmings from Lemmings.
Okay.
Jake's face.
Did you guys do an April Fool's joke episode,
No.
and that's why Lemmings got here, or
No, not quite. But the penultimate Smash Bros. Episode of every season, we pick a very out there matchup, and this season it was Lemmings
sure do.
This season it was Lemmings versus Sims. So you see where we got that.
I see.
We both went in expecting to vote for Sims. It's the more notable. It's the more contemporary series, right? So, and you figure there's more to pull from. But Lister can probably tell you more.
Lemmings is surprising because there's actually a lot of different action that you can get them to do. Things like digging tunnels with their pickaxes, parachuting down. They can explode. Yeah, they will just straight up fucking explode. There's a lot of action that you can get them to do across just even the first two Lemmings games, as they're just trying to survive. You guiding them from one place to another. I think they even have jetpacks. I don't have the page pulled up at the moment, but they have a list of different things to pull from, and just the fact of seeing these little guys fight was just too amusing to pass up. KK Slider, on the other hand, came from our Animal Crossing episode where we had 4 different Animal Crossing characters in a whole battle royale. So we picked 2 out of 4 contenders, and he was one of our picks. He fights with music, I think. I think that's pretty obvious. He's going to break his guitar by bashing it over somebody's head. What else he'd be doing, I don't know. But hey, we don't have a music-based fighter in Smash yet.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, and if we're going to get one, I feel like he's a top choice pick for that.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that even if we had a rhythm-based character per se, like Marshall or someone else from Rhythm Heaven, I think there's still room for a musician character because rhythm and melody are 2 separate components of music, and KK Slider could be your melody. Yeah, he fights with his guitar, he sings, he's a dog, and the dog is... There's a dog at Bargain Mart, and the dog is singing. So, or was it the
Checkmate?
Yeah. So, so there's that. Lemmings, I mean, again, it was an off-kilter choice. We didn't even expect for it to be the one, but then we're researching it during the episode, and we're like, well, shit, I think we're going with Lemmings. There's still room for their green-haired mops somewhere. If Jake swapped the color of his shirt with his hair, he would be a lemming.
It's true. Green hair?
Yes. Yep. I would like that a lot.
Yeah. We'll start the fund, I guess, for me to dye my hair vivid lemon green.
Okay, how much?
You guys probably.
I got $5.
How much do you guys make for this show again?
Nothing.
How much am I getting for my?
Nothing.
Okay. Then I guess
we're paying you an exposure.
Oh, I see.
I work
Regrettable.
in the music industry, so I know too much about that.
It's fair. I think as far as characters go, I agree with Jonno again. I do think that like it would be really interesting to see a neat kind of riff, music pun, on a rhythm and music character. So KK Slider is a really cool homage, especially for being like the in-game avatar of Totaka. Right?
True.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was
like,
KK, but I don't fucking know.
Yeah. That's like his nickname, as I understand. And so like having him be a character would be a really neat homage to him as a person, as a collaborator, as a musician on the Smash series and other games, of course. Like you can think about like having the cool taunt factor of like KK Song making an appearance, for instance, which is his like signature like secret song Easter egg that he puts in every game that he composes for. Like it's a really neat tip of the hat and a really cool character idea as well.
His victory music would absolutely be a KK Slider version of the Animal Crossing victory music.
Sure, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking like a taunt, like, or even like could be something like him like stopping and playing KK Song, and then something happens, like, which would be kind of neat. Like you know, like in A Link to the Past, or no, sorry, Link's Awakening, where if you stay in the house of the guy for the frog the bell tolls, or whatever it's called, and like you stay there for long enough, and it plays the little Tota KK jingle. Yeah. So, like, I think that would be pretty neat. I think he's my pick for sure. No question, he's my pick. KK Slider, the man, the dog.
Is he a man, or is he a dog, or is he a baby?
He's naked, that's for sure.
That's the opening line of my memoir.
Is he a man? Is he a dog? He's naked, that's for sure.
Is this a new Hello Kitty situation?
I think it's goodbye doggy.
Or does that mean, did I just lose the vote from you? Oh shoot.
I don't know.
What do you think?
See. Honestly, between these two characters, I could kind of go either way. If I was more into the sim games of Animal Crossing, or just sim games in general, it would probably be an easier slam for KK Slider. But considering this just aren't my games in general, and I'm not a music person in general, it's more just like I'm more neutral about it. I don't dislike anything about the character. I think he's an interesting choice. He was easily the best choice out of the 4 Animal Crossing characters we had in that episode. Period.
I agree.
But then Lemmings, I just think there's something not quite at the same level of what how I said King of Hyrule would be humorous, but there's just something that would be funny about having the Lemmings, something charming about them. I don't really know what it is, but whichever of these two would go on from here, I would be happy with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think part of Lemmings' charm is that it's such an old character. These are characters that are, I think, 40 plus years old at this point. You know, from the Commodore Amiga era. You know, certain. I don't know how old, but certainly pre-80s. Like they're like a 76, 77 thing. I think. But either way, it's of the era. It evokes that realm regardless of release date. So that's
1991, cool. Sir.
What?
1991.
And it came out on the Commodore? What in the hell? Wow. This proves two things. I don't know shit, and the 90s were further away than we think, which is sad.
Also, you were saying like 70s? The Commodore came out in 82.
Oh, maybe the Commodore gaming system. Okay.
The Commodore 64.
Okay, interesting. That's prehistory to us. Nonetheless, they evoke that early. Okay, if it's not that era, it's at least like what came out in the 90s. Mavis Beacon teaches typing. It came from that era. E.T. on the NES. You know, it feels like that. Anyway, I vote for KK Slider.
Sure. Okay. I mean, first of all, KK already has 2 votes, and I'm fine with that because again, like I could go either way on here, because you know both would be fun. I think personally, but for our next matchup, boy, this is gonna be an odd one. As they all are really.
Yeah.
But we're going Albert Wesker, who we just talked about not that long ago, versus another Animal Crossing character.
Are you kidding me? Okay.
Blathers. Our other winner from the Animal Crossing Battle Royale, where KK Slider and Blathers beat out Crazy Red, and who was the other one?
Mr. Rossetti.
Mr. Rossetti, that's right.
So interesting to see that you guys didn't pick Crazy Red out of those. That's interesting.
It's crazy, right?
Because like based on our earlier discussion about the rate their chances with Tom Nook coming out kind of on top as a shock vote, I think for at least to me a bit of a shock vote from you guys. Lister, as you said, you're not a big.
When Isabel was added, I was like, okay, who's our? Like, I thought it was going to be Tom Nook before Isabel.
For sure. I think that Isabel getting added kind of smash or dashed her chances, or Tom Nook's chances.
I don't know. We got Fox Falcon and Wolf.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess that for me, I don't know much about Resident Evil here, so I don't have much to contribute, unfortunately. I know Wesker is like a key villain, and it sounds like a recurring key villain, so that's kind of neat. I would probably rather see a protagonist character first from the Resident Evil series, although leading with a villain would be kind of interesting, I think, too, in terms of gimmicks. Not really the Smash MO, but sure, why not? Like,
there aren't
nothing's
a
stopping.
lot of franchises where I feel like you can lead with a villain, but I think Resident Evil is one of them, partly because
it's in the name, evil.
True. Although in Japan it's Biohazard.
Oh, for real? Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
And then Resident Evil 7 is subtitled Biohazard in America, but in Japan it's Biohazard 7 Resident Evil. So there's a fun fact for you.
That's cute. I like that.
But Resident Evil, I think, is one of the few franchises that they could leave with a villain for, because Wesker, while he's not necessarily the villain in every game, he's really only the villain in 1 and 5. But
Mhm.
he's present in the lore to such a staggering amount, and the protagonists change out often. The first game, your protagonists are Chris and Jill. The second game, it's Jill, and then Carlos is being a secondary. The third game, you have Leon. No, the second game was Leon. Sorry, Leon and Claire. The third game was when you have Jill and Claire, and then 4 is Leon again. 5 is Chris, and then 6 is like fucking 4 different people. And then 7 and 8, we have this Ethan Winters guy whose face we still have not actually seen. So that's why it's just like, which protagonist do you choose? I don't fucking know. How about Wesker?
Yeah. And to that end too, to that argument, I would also say Wesker is, although not the protagonist, he is the root responsible for the biohazard for the Resident Evil project.
Yeah.
So he's flagship to the lore and the plot of the story. And to me, he's just a more interesting character from a gameplay standpoint. Coming in from someone who can use biohazard mutations and has a bunch of different, essentially, superpowers, makes him stand out from the crowd for me from kind of a want standpoint versus the protagonist of Resident Evil, who, you know, they would use their roundhouse kicks and their guns and their grenade launchers, which we kind of already see with Snake.
And Wesker can do any of that stuff too, because he is trained
He's a
in all
STARS
weapons.
agent. Yeah.
He's one of the members of STARS in the first game. Turns out he put STARS together as test subjects against his monsters, which, alright, dude. But then also he can throw a fucking missile at you. So that's a thing that he does.
Yeah. So who was he against again? I'm not even being facetious.
That was in our Evil Doctor Mad Scientist episode. I think he was against. Yeah, he was against. Yeah, he was against Dr. Cortex. But in this matchup, he's against Blathers from Animal Crossing, who, you know, runs a museum. You might be thinking, like, okay, well, what the fuck can he do? He runs a museum. True. But who says he can't, like, drop a fucking statue on somebody or release the bees? Or Celeste could come in and do something with a constellation. Who knows? There's with pretty much any Animal Crossing character you do, you're gonna be inventing a lot of stuff.
A final smash could be a giant bug chasing him.
It's like the pig ant in Final Smash, except Blathers just runs forward and then like a giant bug just like runs across in a straight line and hits anybody.
Yeah. Either that or he makes you a part of the museum, like embalms you and then just puts you on a stick.
Blathers turns around, goes wide eyes, faints, and then the giant bug comes running through.
Yes. Yep.
Because he just saw a fucking 50-foot tall beetle charging right for it, and he's like, I would rather be dead right now.
Like KK Slider, Blathers is an Animal Crossing character where you have to think a little bit out of the box because Villager and Isabel, you know, you're like, okay, they have their balloon, then they have their pocket. Tom Nook would definitely have pocket. Blathers could go either way. KK Slider can go either way on that standard move, but generally the moveset would have to revolve around a specific gimmick. Blathers would be interesting because you really have to improvise the moveset. And that could be fun because you're pulling from all these different elements from the museum, the bugs, the fish, the fine art, the paintings, and pulling all that together. Yeah. And then also having the astrology standpoint, the star standpoint with Celeste, as you said, as a potential add-on. So there is stuff to work with here. So just maybe we can convince ourselves to make this a little harder than it seems. To choose between. Yeah.
I don't think it's that hard of a decision. Like I knowing as little as I do about Resident Evil itself, I'm still voting Wesker. Like it's kind of a no-brainer to me. I couldn't see. I don't have any particular interest in Blathers as a character. Like I like him. He's lovable. He's a classic Animal Crossing character, but in that game, he should stay. I think. I don't think he's got the chops. I'll put to come to Smash.
How about he gets an assist trigger where he still faints when the giant beetle comes running by?
say I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
Yeah.
But would I rather he be a playable fighter over like an iconic villain of gaming lore?
Yeah,
I'm going Wesker.
It's. I actually thought you were going to go Blathers though, so that's why I was just like,
No.
oh shit, all right. Because I'm also an easy vote for Wesker. I mean, come the fuck on. No
Mhm.
shame to Blathers. I'm sure Jonno and I eventually will make a moveset for it because we're fucking madmen.
Great
But-
material for making a moveset, no question.
Yeah.
But would I rather see him over a villain like that? Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I'm
about
voting
you?
Wesker. And-
Yeah. I
Yeah.
figured.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's one Animal Crossing character
Onward.
down. There's one more that we'll see again in round 2. But for our next matchup, oh boy. So
Is it finally here? Oh, it's finally here.
you don't know who the matchup is.
Let it be so. Gods of Super Cast Brothers.
Our first opponent is
Praise
Bill Overbeck from Left 4 Dead.
Mm-hmm.
The second one. Now, Jake, I mentioned how the penultimate
Yes.
the penultimate
Yes.
Smash Bros. Episode gets funky. One matchup, we like to pick 2 characters that are just like completely wild and out there. The other matchup is between 2 non-video game characters. So we are now pitting Bill Overbeck, a video game character and survivor, well, kind of a survivor of the zombie apocalypse until the second game's DLC happens, against
Spoilers.
Tony Hawk!
Who?
Tony Hawk!
Who? I don't know who that is.
Fuck off. You're lying.
Nobody on the internet knows who he is.
No, we know who he is, we just can't recognize him.
Yeah, fair. Okay, that's true.
All of
Yeah,
his
Anthony
alts are
Hawk.
just different people.
Oh my god.
Yep,
Okay,
it's here. It's this one.
Wonder what he's up to these days.
This.
This.
He's being added into Smash. That's what he's up to. Maybe.
That's what he's doing. I love that tweet personally when he says, "What? I wonder what he's up to." This. It's so good.
And the
The
lady just
deadpan
does
glory.
not realize. She's like, huh.
Huh.
God. So, Jesus Christ, this one.
Can you give me a primer on Bill?
Yeah. So Bill Overbeck is one of the 4 playable characters in the first Left 4 Dead game, a game where you're fighting off the zombie horde. Very few characters are immune to the zombie infection. And, you know, this survivor of, I believe, the Vietnam War is one of them. It's guns. It's shooting zombies. The first game doesn't have melee weapons, but they add melee weapons to the second game, so you got baseball bats, machetes, a chainsaw. But mainly it's stuff like submachine guns, snipers, shotguns, pistols. And there's also some throwables that they can use, like a Molotov cocktail, a pipe bomb, a canister of essentially zombie puke that attracts zombies. Yeah, it's a little disgusting. But Bill is more or less the lead character in the first game. He's the leader of his team alongside Francis, Zoe, and Lewis. And they go from location to location, going through little short campaigns, just trying to find a place to escape to. And then in the second game, the 4 of them appear in a special DLC chapter where they get to meet the survivors of the second game. And at the end, essentially, imagine Hulk as a zombie, but 3 of them show up at once. And Bill holds down the fort with an M16 and fights them off so everybody else can escape. And unfortunately, he does not. That's pretty much your primer on Bill. And then he gets added into Dead by Daylight for some fucking reason. I'm not kidding, he's in the game.
Sweet.
Okay.
So he's an old man who shoots and then dies.
And smokes.
And is he's the photographer as well? Like, is there a photographer character from For Dead?
No.
He's thinking of Frank West.
I am thinking of Frank
You're
West.
thinking of
Dang,
Frank
nice.
West.
Okay.
Have we ever... I feel like have we done Frank West? We've never
In some
covered
ways.
Frank West. Oh, no. I think we're going... No, we have not yet covered Frank
Spoilers.
West, but yeah.
For this
Okay.
show. Nice.
Cool. Okay. Okay. Neat. Actually, I kind of think that of non-game characters that could kind of be a funny or fun gimmicky kind of character, Tony Hawk is actually like a pretty funny choice. Like we've got like I could see there being some fun moveset potential for what he could bring to the table. And
Yeah.
like there's
Everything is a
of
different
course,
skateboard trick.
yeah, all the different tricks. I'm certain that would make for an interesting comboing system, because that's a very key part of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games.
Every single one of Wii Fit Trade's attacks is a different yoga pose. So why
That's
can't
true.
Tony Hawk use a different skateboard trick for every attack?
Sure. Now, granted, I would be surprised between the three of us if we could name enough skateboarding tricks without any research.
Ollie, 900-degree spin, 720-degree spin, 360-degree spin.
Okay.
Grinding on rails.
At this point, you're pretty much just playing that one Mario Party minigame where you're like mashing the buttons to rotate around.
the snowboarding one.
Yeah.
Nice.
But one of my favorite, it must be said that one of my favorite skateboarding tricks is the caveman, where you pick up your skateboard and jump on it later. So I think that I do kind of think it could be an interesting individual character gimmick for a moveset to put together, like the more tricks that you land in combination between getting hit, the higher your like a scaling percentage of like your knockback, or like the amount of percent damage you'll deal out in your next attack, like increases over time.
You could have some kind of a meter gimmick like that,
or something like that. Yeah, like I could see it making for a very interesting and fun and kind of cool character. I think now, again, knowing very little about Bill and getting confused immediately with Frank West, I think that as far as characters from like a zombie apocalypse survival type game go, Frank West is the more iconic. So despite nobody recognizing Tony these days, I kind of think it would be. I'm picking Mr. Hawk if I'm being honest.
Okay.
Fill up his meter long enough, and to the highest point, you can make him become invisible as well.
He might become. I was going to say he might become recognizable at that point, but invisible? Okay. That's pretty good. That's good. The height of his fame. It's a little Easter egg. He's gone.
Reach the top of his meter and he de-ages to his 20s.
One of his taunts is him just saying this.
Yep. In the first Tournament of Champions, we had Spider-Man in this slot. In the second Tournament of Champions, we had Ronald McDonald in this spot. Neither of them made it to round 2. Today, Tony Hawk is making it to round 2.
Yes, he is.
Let's go!
Yes, he is. I was gonna vote Tony as well. It's
go
like,
team!
It's like, normally my policy is, it's not a video game character, so it loses. But Tony Hawk, first of all, the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games are great.
Amazing.
Right? Yep. They're great.
Totally.
The only reason why we're not getting a remake of 3 and 4 coming together, like we got 1 and 2, is because Activision pulled an Activision on itself. Tony has actually confirmed that they were going to work on one, but Activision pulled back on it. But also the fact is, like, well, I do like Left 4 Dead and I like Bill. There are better characters for Bill to fill that kind of a slot. Frank West being named one. Any Resident Evil character, most Resident Evil characters. But Bill in Left 4 Dead, unfortunately, is just like, of all zombie-related killing characters, he has less to do, and he's not as interesting.
Okay, Tony's moving on. We're getting to the meat of this thing.
Indeed, we have our last matchup of round 1. That is going to be the Prince of all Cosmos of Katamari Damacy against Manny Calavera from Grim Fandango.
Oh, okay.
We have a boy that pushes a ball, and things get stuck to it, and then a dead guy who tries to sell tickets to dead people vacations. I don't know Grim Fandango. Kelly is probably just like he's getting the sense that he needs to murder me right now. That's fair. I don't know the games. It's something about him selling tickets to the afterlife on like better trains or something, and then he goes on an adventure. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But he has a scythe
And pigeons.
and a hearse, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. What a guy.
I get the feeling Jake doesn't know either of these either.
No,
I
Cool.
was gonna say, Jake,
Cool.
this is Lister at the start of this mentioned like some of these things are less what you want and more like if you had to put one in, which one would it be? This may be that for you.
Yeah.
This may be that.
This may be that for me.
This is that for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't really know much about either of these games, to be honest. So I'm not a good candidate to be weighing in here. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think I kind of recall vaguely that I was the tiebreaker on the Prince of All Cosmos. I think I was consulted for my opinion on this one.
Mm-hmm.
This is a recent-ish episode, or is it?
Well, it was this season, so it was within the last year.
Yeah,
No, it was
recent
actually
enough.
it was back in May. Actually, it was Prince of All Cosmos, which is Aurora from Shot of Light.
Right.
That was our royalty episode.
Right.
And you did choose the Prince of All Cosmos there.
Yeah. And I did pick the Prince of All Cosmos there, and that was more of a kind of a tip of the hat to a friend of ours or an online acquaintance of ours.
Why do you think this character was in an episode?
Yep.
The same reason.
So yeah, again, like I mean, that friend of ours we're not in contact anymore, but that friend.
Never mind. That's not why. Different. I was thinking of somebody else.
For the Prince of All Cosmos?
Yeah, I was thinking of somebody that's in CSWS.
Oh no, a different friend from the distant past, from the Mercurius days.
Yeah.
I don't want to name drop them just in case.
Fair enough.
But oops. But I know they were very fond of Katamari Damacy and great game. It seems like a lot of fun and.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. It's not who I was thinking of either, but I
remember them. Maybe there are a few people who we know that that have Prince of All Cosmos. Anyway, all this is to say, I'll stay the course on that one, and of the two, without really any prior foreknowledge of either of these two characters, I'm going Prince of All Cosmos.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, Manny does have a hearse. He can dress in various outfits for stealth missions. He uses carrier pigeons to fly, and has a scythe, as Lister had said. And part of what Kelly had said too is that he can like open up a package and bring out like random elements of gifts from the Excelsior line train and the app with so on and so forth. My pitch for the Prince of All Cosmos was going to be that I too could relate to being a young man pushing around a giant sticky ball and capturing objects on it the size of the earth, like cows and trains and erasers and sushi.
I don't like this conversation.
I don't like that you said you're pushing around a sticky ball.
Yeah, me either.
And my dad is a giant with a G-string who lives in outer space.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I've met your dad.
Congrats to your father.
Yeah, I have danced with my father in that exact outfit. I like Luther Vandross. I also vote the Prince. And again, it's because I have a small attachment to the series. I've played a couple games and I've enjoyed them. And I haven't played Grim Fandango. It's really as simple as that. I wish that I had more contacts from Grim Fandango, and I'm sorry in particular to our friend Kelly who loves it. But for this lightning round, it's the Prince.
Maybe someday Kelly will succeed in getting people to vote to force me to play Grim Fandango.
One day.
Maybe.
Zantok plays number 476.
How many games have I done now? Now, I haven't done that many, but I've done a fair few.
You have.
I have finished recording at this day 33 solo games.
Damn.
So yeah, I've played a
Nice.
few games. Yeah, here and there. But yeah, I'm also in the Principal Cosmos. I don't really know, like, Kelly, our friend Kelly has actually made a moveset for Manny Calavera.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't made from Principal Cosmos. I don't know what we would do with a moveset with Principal Cosmos besides roll ball. But
That's all you need, baby.
A sticky ball.
there's just something with him that I just think would be funny. Again, sometimes
Yeah.
it just comes down to there's something humorous about this character. Why not? Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Especially in these early rounds, it's going to be crunch time now, though.
Yes. Now we get to round 2. Now there are a couple characters. I mentioned we were finished out of round 1, but there just are a couple characters from this last season that we haven't discussed yet, and we'll get into. Basically, 2 of the characters are being held off for later, so the bracket isn't a perfect normal 16 character bracket. But round 2 is going to begin with Makoto Naegi of Danganronpa up against
Makoto.
the King of Hyrule.
Rombos Baramas Hyrule?
Yes.
Oh, man. Oh,
Here's the
no.
matchup: Makoto versus the King. So we have, yes, we've already discussed the King of Hyrule. We know what he's all about. Makoto, for those that don't know, which may or may not include Jake, I don't know if he's familiar with these games.
I am,
Oh, good.
Carry on.
Okay, good. So I don't have to teach you. I just have to basically do a basic overview. Awesome. This boy is said to have the ultimate luck. Whether that's good or bad, well, it depends on what the story needs. But he's trapped in a murder game. 16 kids stuck in a school that they can't escape from. And they're told they can only leave if they successfully kill one of their fellow students and get away with the crime and survive a trial for their very life. He's the protagonist, so you can safely assume that he makes it.
He
Or
does.
he?
Or does he?
Or does he? Play the game or watch my playthrough to find out. There's our
Let's Play
advertising.
Gaming, yep.
But yeah, so we got Luck Boy versus the King. Makoto's another character that Kelly Jelly has made a moveset for. I didn't make one myself because I kind of figured there wasn't a point when Kelly did. I made a different character a moveset for. Or that was a weird sentence. I made a moveset for a different character from the series, I mean. But I think it'd be fun. I don't think there's any real chance of him happening at all. But
Mm-hmm.
he's got to have some kind of tripping attack. I mean, come on. His official picture for the first game has him losing his shoe. If the boy doesn't trip, then something is wrong.
Mm-hmm. I like the idea of Makoto in the game. It kind of fills that space, not really, but to the point. It's mystery-ish, you know. You're
Mystery visual novel.
kind of in the yeah. So there's elements of Kelly's moveset that are reminiscent of like a Phoenix Wright kind of dream moveset as well, where you know there's the final smash being a closing argument where you know the killer's you. They point down an opponent and bada bing, bada boom. It plays out a lot like it does in Danganronpa. And it's a very interesting and creative moveset, and one that even got like fandom attention from the fandom wiki and comments from a couple of randoms. And
Oh, no way. That's really cool.
yeah. So good for Kelly. The only true simp said on October 29th, 2021.
Shoutouts too.
Best thing I've seen on the wiki fandom. So
Nice. Hey, thanks to the
Yeah.
only true simp, fan of the show, friend
Yeah.
of the show.
It wasn't me. But
Well, now I'm
Yeah.
suspicious.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm going to
suspicious
do
of
an
you.
IP check now.
Yeah. The only true simp is you.
The killer is you.
So, who ordered Makoto's bathwater then?
Kelly. Probably.
Ooh. Anyway.
Yeah.
Uh, Go on, Jonno.
Oh, I'm done. I mean,
All right.
yeah.
Jake, give your thoughts now.
Okay. I think that, yeah, probably Makoto. I think Makoto would be a lot of fun. I think that, like, I haven't read Kelly's moveset, sorry, Kelly, but I do think that there's a lot of fun space for a cool moveset. Pretty cool. The Danganronpa games are a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
I think that you could probably do some fun things with the other students, and, like, the other ultimate lucky student, our good boy, our good
Sagito?
pal, yeah, Nogito. Um, like, he could be a fun little alt character as well. Also, another gaming icon from our favorite gimmick video with Sans Undertale. Let's see it. Oh, that's neat. That is cool art. I think that Makoto could be a lot of fun. I think that I would vote for Makoto in this case. I no slam against Rome Bosphoramus Hyrule, but I do think that I see the moveset potential for Makoto, and I do think that there's a lot of unique pieces there. Arguably, if, say, Phoenix Wright was also on the table here, that they'd be filling kind of the same niche of, like, the cross-examination and the different ways that you can represent a courtroom drama in video games and then translate that into a fighting game. Kind of similar. There's some overlap in that, but
Yeah, if this was
yeah,
a vote between Phoenix and Makoto, then it's an easy vote for Phoenix.
for sure.
But this isn't a battle
But it's
between
not.
Phoenix and Makoto. Phoenix Wright was actually in last year's Tournament of Champions. And in the battle between Makoto and King Daphnis Hyrule, or Bosphoramus Hyrule, or Harkinian, it's Makoto for me. The Danganronpa games are very fun. I enjoyed the hell out of them. I wish they'd make more. I'm not expecting them to,
Mhm.
but at least we got Ultimate Summer Camp.
At least we have that.
I beat the story mode.
Me too.
No, you didn't.
No, yeah, I was gonna say, wait, when did you play
You
that?
didn't even play it.
I only played that. That's the only Danganronpa experience I've had.
Man, playing that would spoil one of the big twists in the first game, so I hope not.
I actually, I didn't play them myself, but I've watched a couple different folks play through the Danganronpa games. And there's definitely some, like, it's a fun series.
Yeah.
It's well worth playing or watching, like, a playthrough of it.
I think it's better to play it than to watch it, but if you can't play it, then definitely watch it.
It's a very compelling and interesting kind of, like, it's super, like, it's very hammy, so you have to come in kind of expecting that it's going to be, like, very campy and very like, tropey. Like, it plays on a lot of tropey expectations. Like, all of the characters themselves are like tropes, or like
Ifumi.
different like, yeah, Ibumi, like, like, really all of them. It's parody of like, of classic anime styles and like different things that come up in anime games and stuff like that. But it was a lot of fun to watch, and I felt I was very engrossed in I've only watched the first two, so I watched 1 and 2, and I haven't watched any of the other games, but I was, like, really intrigued by the games.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, my vote's Makoto.
2 votes for Makoto. I was thinking Makoto as well, because while the King of Hyrule represents Zelda, where you can veer into many different original characters for the next inclusion, I'd be happy. Makoto, even if it's from a franchise that I'm not interested in, or not necessarily not interested in, but not interested in actively pursuing and playing throughout the series. For the reasons you've already mentioned, it's a unique prospect. He's the main character. It's a natural fit. And I was really on the edge of voting for the king, even as a grace vote, just for the hell of it, because it would be funny, it would be entertaining. I would enjoy it. But I'll go Makoto.
All right, Makoto moving on to round 3, the semifinals. But our next matchup is going to be between Dante and KK Slider.
Shoot, now that's tricky.
Okay, Jake,
That's
we
a
can
tough
do
one.
this. We can do this. We can bar right now and
Can we?
Dante out of the competition.
Can we make a pact? Is this let's make a deal sort of vibe?
What is this Survivor bullshit going on here?
Well, it's a little homage to you, really. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough. So, I think I still I stand by the idea of KK being a very compelling and interesting character. That I could see making being a cool Animal Crossing moveset. However, there are a few things that I kind of would kind of use as caveats, I guess. And the first thing is we have 2 Animal Crossing characters. We've got Villager, we've got Isabelle, and if you rate their chances as anything to go by, we might have luck one day. I don't think that KK Slider really needs to be in Smash in the same way that I feel that Dante does as a titan of gaming, out of respect to what the meme potential, the funness of his moveset. Again, I reference this as a bit of a touchstone for myself. The big Mugen fan game Card Sagas Wars or Card Sagas Wars, whatever that was back in the day.
Yeah.
They had Dante as, if not a playable character, at least as an assist character, and I think he fits the mold. I think he would be a really fun addition to Smash. I'm voting Dante.
All right, Dante, it is.
Sorry, John.
For
I
me
violated our
as well.
pact.
What was that?
That's 2 votes for Dante.
Oh yeah, Dante.
Oh shoot! No pity vote for KK. Nah, I think that's as deserved. For
It's
all jokes
a
aside,
mismatch.
and it's kind of a no question in my mind. And
in a different bracket, KK Slider could make it to the semifinals if he was against, say Bill Overbeck or Castle Crasher. KK Slider might make it to round 3, but against Dante, that's a hard
Dante's
sell.
kind of a favorite in my mind. So
yeah.
Well, on to the next one, featuring another character that we haven't gotten to discuss yet, and actually 2 characters that both won in the same episode are
Nice.
2 mad scientists, Albert Wesker versus Dr. Wily.
Dr. Wowie?
Dr. Wowie. And to clarify, this is the classic Dr. Wily and not the Mega Man Battle Network version, in case there was any confusion.
There was, thanks.
Technically, he's called Lord Wily in Battle Network anyway, so huh.
Oh, I call him that regardless. You look at him.
Yeah.
That is the liege to which I have pledged myself as a vassal.
As you should. I mean, what? Sorry. So we have a mad scientist of the bio nature, experimenting on creatures, mutating them, creating zombies and viruses, and then a mad scientist of the mechanical nature, creating killer robots, and also reprogramming other people's normal robots to become killer robots, because the world just needs more killer robots, okay? Listen.
And he knows how to move his head up and down.
He knows how to beg for his life and make people think that he's given up on his evil ways, even though he literally was just trying to kill you not 5 seconds ago, and his giant death machine. In one game, he's impersonated by an alien or something. I don't quite know what the fuck is going on there, but it happens. And then it's speculated that by the time the Mega Man X games come around, he's transferred his consciousness into a robot that has a little bit of a resemblance to him, but it's not confirmed, so maybe. He also created Zero, so he did that.
Yeah, there's a point in his direction. Okay, Jake, what are you thinking?
I think that Dr. Wily is kind of the more iconic of the two to me. Like he's got a cool moveset potential. He's got like you can draw inspiration from all the robot masters. The Wily boss rushes are legendary. The classic Mega Man end of game kind of the Castle Wily vibes. Like you have all of his many creations, which could be cool, and then also you have the added bonus of his cool machines, such as the extremely annoying one that they have as a Smash Assist trophy today. So I think that like I'm going Dr. Wily on this one because I think he's the more interesting and more iconic of the two Capcom villains. That's why.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Jonno?
I am veering. I will vote for Wesker. I think he's a strong pick for Resident Evil, and that's where I'm coming from. Where Wily comes in from the angle of classic Capcom being a very iconic villain from that era. Wesker still is very representative of more modern Capcom, where Resident Evil and probably Street Fighter have kind of overranked, and Monster Hunter. I mean, but that's a whole other discussion with that franchise. I think that's better discussed with bosses as opposed to a character. But again, Resident Evil and Monster Hunter are kind of at the forefront of Capcom now. I think he's a great representative of Capcom today, while filling in a lot of the similar other takes that Dr. Wily does as a mad scientist villain opponent. Even though the movesets will be wildly different, their tone is wildly different. So there's definitely a lot of potential and credence veering in both of their directions. But I'll go Wesker. I think this is, again, it's a what do you want thing, and I've been harping on the idea to such a degree over the last couple of years that I've brainwashed myself. So there we go.
Brainwashed himself.
Yep. It comes down to me. And here's the interesting thing here with this matchup. I have famously gone on the record to say that when it comes to third-party franchises in Smash, I would vastly prefer seeing new blood be entered into the arena than to see multiple characters be added from the same third-party franchise. To take the Sonic series as an example, people cry out for Knuckles, for Tails, for Shadow, for Dr. Eggman, and I'm just over here like, or we could get new franchises represented. That's personally what I would rather see. So from that perspective...
Echo the Dolphin. Gillian Thunderax. Anyway.
Gilius, actually. It's Gilius...
Oh, yeah, that guy.
It's Gilius Thunderhead.
Okay.
Sir.
Okay.
Sir. But then there are some third-party characters which is like, okay, I'll take Shadow over Echo the Dolphin. Because what the fuck? But the Wesker is a very valid choice for a third-party character. Resident Evil is a very valid third-party series to pull a character from. And so from that base nature, by my own rules, I should be voting for Albert Wesker here. Also, it's Albert Wesker and Albert Wily. Fun stuff there. But I'm also a big fan of the Mega Man franchise, and there's some bias there. Again, like, I'm more partial to the Battle Network side of the timeline than the classic timeline. But Wily himself is still just like, they're both iconic characters, but Wily hits a little bit more personally for me. Also, back in the Mercurios days, I made a Wily moveset. Just gotta remind people of that. I did it way back when.
15 years ago.
Roughly, yeah.
Oh, God.
Think about that,
no.
Eebit.
No.
Mercurios was 15 years ago.
Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Time flies when you get old.
Shame.
Yeah. We're all old fucks
Can't relate,
now.
though. but
Yes, you can. You're old.
Jake's at least 15 is what you're saying.
top secret age
Jake's at least 43.
days.
Looks even.
All right, Spurt.
Okay.
You only live for 7 days? Anyhow.
Ooh, buddy, I thought that
Well,
was going
then,
the other
if you
direction.
reference.
No. Critical Role reference.
Oh, my bad.
Uh,
Oh, shoot. I missed that you said squirt.
I said
Or
Spurt.
spurt,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I was
So
doing
between
the
these
same
two,
thing
this is
earlier,
actually... my bias is battling my rules here. I'm just like, I hate it. But I think we established earlier on in Smash or Dash, not Rate Their Chances, that's... I kind of had to ignore that rule. I had to just, like, battle character against character, because otherwise some things just get weird. And taking that into account, it's got to be Dr. Albert Wily for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think Wesker would be great, but I love me some Mega Man. And hey,
Tomorrow's
we've got
headlines.
new Pokemon that look like Mega Man characters now, so hey.
Yeah.
Checkmate, atheists. Got him.
Okay.
Zantok rule breaker.
All
Missing the
right.
connection between the Pokemon and that. Anyway, carry on.
You
Carry
clearly
on.
have not seen the new trailer then.
I have not, no.
Okay. Well, the final matchup of round 2 is going to be between, Jesus fucking Christ, Tony Hawk and the Prince of all Cosmos.
Oh my god.
They're back!
Yo.
Is Tones Ballones gonna make it on to the next round?
I
Maybe.
I have an argument.
Give
You
us
can't
your
give me the
argument.
argument.
I have an argument. Okay, it's very simple. Very simple. Oh, just stay with me here.
I'm with you.
Tony Hawk.
Why not?
Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk.
Why not Tony Hawk?
Tony Hawk.
Why not Tony Hawk?
Why not? I'm yet to hear a compelling argument why Prince of all Cosmos should.
Because sticky
You already
ball.
the ball. Yeah.
I think
you touch it and it moves.
I'm voting Tony.
Yeah.
I think I'm voting Tony here.
Me too.
Me.
Moving on to the
Wow.
semifinals,
Wow.
we have 4 characters left, and Tony Hawk is one of them.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
This is big for Cast Bros.
Fuck.
Yes, it is.
All right, next
Making
up,
history.
we have the return of Makoto Naegi versus his most difficult opponent yet, also his second opponent, Dante of Devil May Cry.
Ooh. I don't really care about this matchup. I'm just trying to think of who would be a better opponent for Tony to win. Just kidding.
Wow.
Wow.
Those are strong words from Capcom fan of discuss it on our last round.
We
Just discuss
have-
Wesker.
Just kidding.
We have a character that
Big
we all
departure.
agree is a huge Capcom character, and is arguably one of, if not the best singular pick to be added from Capcom into Smash Brothers. Now, who is the number 1 pick? I'm sure somebody is ready to argue a different name for over there.
Perhaps.
In my personal world.
Yes,
Yeah.
but Dante is absolutely in the top few characters. And then we have again the luck boy that could. Who is it, luck or is it plot armor? I don't know. But it's the main character of the first Danganronpa game. He can shoot out truth bullets from his finger guns and tell people that no, you're wrong.
Right.
One of these games, one of these series I've played, one of these series I've watched.
Mm-hmm. And I think it comes. Sorry.
No, go on.
It comes down to it's the legacy of one character, knowing that he is a highly respected gaming icon, knowing that, to be honest, it felt like from the start he had a very compelling chance to win this tournament.
He had a very compelling chance to be added into Ultimate's DLC, and then what happened?
Yeah, precisely. So we're easily living in a timeline where he could win this game. But are we going to overlook, especially in yours and Jake's shoes, the bias towards Makoto being a franchise that I think you both have played or watched and enjoyed, probably more on a personal level than Devil May Cry, if I'm not assuming too much. Yeah, see, so that's where it's coming at from you guys. So I'll let you both hash it out. I mean, I have my lean. I could be influenced, so I want the discussion to kind of take its course.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, like, despite your read is absolutely correct. Like, I have no particular affection for Devil May Cry as a series, but I do think that Dante himself is like a titan of gaming and in his own right, and a gaming heavyweight, and definitely a potential snub for some in terms of the Smash ballot. So, or well, the proverbial Smash ballot, I guess, maybe not the literal one. But
right.
I think that with that in mind, like, yeah, Dante's the choice here for me. Like, I'm not so compelled about Makoto's moveset that I would overlook what Dante could bring to the table, between like having a very stocked arsenal of weapons to like quite exuberant personality that shows in all of his characterizations. And I think that, like, yeah, I think it's, to me, almost a no-brainer that I would say go with Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
He's both a dumbass and a badass. Yes.
Dumbass and a badass. That's my understanding. And I'll go with that.
But does he have a good ass?
Let me look. I gotta look. Guys, I gotta turn my camera off for a sec.
Be sure to turn off safe search.
Yeah, safe search is off. Don't worry. Okay.
Yeah, it's on definitely all the time at Jake's house.
You forgot to turn your camera off.
I don't know. I'm not. I didn't actually run a search. It was a bit. It was a bit, guys. It was a bit.
Come on.
I can. I'll send you the results.
Look at Eebit's muscles. My God.
But there's search results for none.
Oh my God.
All right.
None.
So,
okay.
Dante versus Makoto.
From the Devil May Cry series.
Makoto's from Devil May Cry?
Yeah.
Yes. I didn't know that. Holy shit. Okay. This one.
It's a tough choice, eh?
I like the Danganronpa games a lot. Like, honestly, Devil May Cry, when I was watching the games, the gameplay, and to a degree some of the story, I honestly didn't care about a lot. I'm not saying I didn't like it, but more perhaps it just wasn't particularly my style. That might just be that that's not the kind of game that I'm going to be good at. Dante, the character, though, was pretty fucking good. That I liked. I liked Dante, and I liked his character interactions with others, like, I mean, Virgil in particular. But then, throw Trish and Lady and Nero in there all as well. It's like the core, the selling point of Devil May Cry to me isn't the gameplay or the story. It's just Dante and his interactions with everyone else. That's what I think is the selling point of those games. Which is why when they tried to make the reboot happen was a major disappointment. Because I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? No. Don't do that. Jesus Christ. But Danganronpa, each game has a different cast of characters. You're playing as a different protagonist. You have different situations. I mean, there's similarities with the whole murder mystery stuff going on every time. But Makoto, he's the main guy in the first one. He's an everyman kind of character. He's just a guy that won a lottery to get entry into this prestigious school of people who are supposed to be the best at what they do. And for some reason, this kid who's supposedly super lucky got an invite, and he's just like, why am I here? I don't know, but fuck me if I'm not going to take this opportunity. Between them, though, getting the Smash, we've said it, Dante is far and away one of the best choices from Capcom. Probably one of the best choices from video games that are not Nintendo, and maybe including some Nintendo options. He's just a very strong chance. He's just a very strong character to get in, and arguably should get in. Arguably should have been the DLC rep over a couple others that were chosen for Ultimate, but we will not get into that right now.
For whom we will not name, on this show ever again.
I mean, there's a few. There's definitely a handful that I would have picked Dante over. I would have picked Dante over Amendment. I would have picked Dante over Gasp, Sephiroth. We didn't need a second Final Fantasy VII character. I love Final Fantasy VII. If we're going to need a second Final Fantasy character, it should have been from a different title. Let's just be real here. Like, I was amazed when it happened, but I do believe that. But between these two, I don't care if they lose, but I'm going Makoto.
Yeah.
I acknowledge that he's most likely going to lose, and I'm okay with that. But I gotta throw a vote towards him.
Make it interesting.
I get it. This Danganronpa has been a very influential part of your life over the last year or two. You've played through what all of it.
I played through the 3 main games. There's a side game that exists as well. That's a third-person shooter that I did not play. I just watched, and oh boy, some stuff that happens in it is a little wild. And I'm not gonna play it for the channel because chapter 3. If you know the game, you know what I mean.
God, I don't want to know, but I'll probably find out. Yeah, I mean, looking over Kelly's moveset of Makoto, there's definitely an argument there. It would be probably the one that I would veer towards from a moveset perspective, given that Dante's very combo heavy. It would be Bayonetta-esque, even though he'd be pulling in all these different things. Same developer, kind of the same mood.
It's the same genre.
Yeah, precisely. Whereas Danganronpa brings in something entirely new to Smash, since we don't have visual novel or mystery represented yet. So yeah, I mean, I buy into all of the Dante hype. I'm excited for the character. I think that he would be a great inclusion. He has strong chances for the actual Smash 6. It's kind of an evergreen character for that. He's an icon. He's essentially he's close to being like a Mr. Video Game-esque character, with how popular Devil May Cry is. Not only being a cult classic, but a massive system seller, AAA title series. Danganronpa is not any of those things, but it's a cult title, and that's nothing to knock against it because we're not talking about chances here, not realistic chances. So all that to say that we picked the. It's essentially do we pick the David or the Goliath of the situation, right? I mean, Dave won the battle. I mean, there's that to take into account too. But I mean, I will. This is the hardest matchup for me.
This has been the closest one so far.
Yeah, I'm not personally invested in either character, and I recognize the pros of both characters that are very different from one another. Yeah. I'll go Dante.
Yeah.
It's fair. It's absolutely fair. Yeah. It's what I expected to have happen, honestly.
It was close. I mean, it's closer than he probably thought it might have been. I was really deliberating, but ultimately, the argument for him, it's so compelling. It's very strong.
All right. Well, we have one of our finalists. Let's figure out the second.
Let's do it.
Our next matchup is Dr. Wily versus Tony Hawk. He's somehow back. And for me,
somehow back.
This is the end of his tale because I'm an easy vote for Dr. Wily at this point. Tony, he beat 2 characters that we didn't have a lot of connection to, and that were, in my personal opinion, smaller characters that either had less to them or I just don't know anything about them. So that he was able to beat them pretty easily, but now he's against Dr. Wily, and he can't win here for me.
Absolutely fair. I think the only thing that I will add to Tony's argument is think of him not just as a meme pick or a fourth party pick or a human character pick. Think of it from the perspective of a skateboarding character. Bringing that.
I thought you were going to say, think of him as a friend.
Yeah. As a friend who skateboards and he fights with a skateboard in Smash.
It's the Tony Hawk we met along the way?
Yeah. Yes.
Dude,
Yes.
and this is why we're voting for Dr. Wily.
Y'all joking, but I'm voting for Tony Hawk. Fuck it. One great show. The end.
I love that for you. Not me though. I'm different.
You're different.
I'm voting Dr. Wily, and the reason is because predominantly because Dr. Wily is actually a video game character, represents a lot of classic Capcom. There's all sorts of like a high degree of moveset potential. I think making a moveset for Tony Hawk is an interesting thought experiment, and talking about it and like what you could potentially do to make a combo system with the right amount of research into skateboarding tricks, and you know how you can somehow massage that into fighting game character lore and mechanics, and that's an interesting challenge. But to me, Dr. Wily,
weird challenges in the past.
It's true. So it's great material for a format like what you guys have with the episodes, where you guys are working on the movesets. But
it's going to be a whole documentary.
I believe it, and I hope that there's footage and you guys pull up clips of skateboarding tricks that you're gonna. Anyway,
I will commit to learning how to skateboard.
Tony Hawk would take more research to make as a character for me than any other character I've ever made. Also, my dog
the one you just did 80 moves for. So,
but I know a lot about that character. I was able to make 80 moves for them.
Yeah,
I turned Mega Man.exe into a character recently, Jake. You know, the very first character.
Your magnum opus. I remember. I feel like you made something. Did you make or did you plan to make a Mega Man.exe character?
They were the very first character I ever made on Mercurius.
Yeah.
Yep.
I recall
final two. Oh my god.
Hello.
Dog Tuggle.
Hi Tuggle. How are you doing? Alright, so a couple things before we get into our final match. First of all, there's a bronze place medal to award. So, Makoto Naegi versus Tony Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
Makoto.
Mm-hmm.
I vote Makoto.
Tony Hawk.
I vote Tony.
What the fuck? I hate it, but it doesn't matter because it's just third place anyways, so fuck it. I'm not going to be that upset maybe a little bit.
Oh my god. Finally, my years of upset in the third round tiebreaker are over.
All right.
Today's the day. Today mark it on your calendar.
Yep.
Whatever day today is.
Avenged. So, my god.
Now, here's where it's going to get real fucking hard. Because we're not
that
in the
is
finals
what
just
they
yet.
said. No.
People who have been watching the past season may have realized that there are two characters that we haven't yet covered today that won Smash Bros. Episodes this past season. The reason why we have not covered them yet is because these two characters are ones that Jonno and I have both declared are the characters that we most want individually. And they both featured as our characters that we said we most wanted in our company roster episode that we did at the end of season 2, where we picked the character we most wanted for 25 different companies. And we kept those two up because they were our number one, so it wasn't really fair. And considering that, again, we did not feel with these two characters it'd be fair to put them in the main bracket, because they would just make it to the finals or defeat one another earlier on if they had the misfortune of being placed up against each other early. That occurred. We did not want to deal with that. So instead we decided to have a special bout between the two of them at this point. My personal champion, the character that I back the most, Chino of Super Mario RPG. And then Jonno's champion, the character that he champions for the most, Amaterasu of Okami. So I think it's fairly safe to say, and Jonno, correct me if I'm wrong here, that my vote is for Chino and your vote is for Amaterasu. Is that fair to say?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
That is
So
fair.
here's what's going to happen. The two of us are going to say what we will about our individual characters, and then
Make your
Jake
pleas.
has to be the tie-breaking vote between these two titans of our personal wants and desires, and where he will be upsetting one of the two of us forever.
On a personal level, on a friend level.
On a gonna get
Friendships
murdered in a
will
week
be
level.
yeah. Friendships will be lost, families will be broken,
Jonno,
and the show will be canceled after this episode.
hit us.
Most devastatingly of all, out of those three things.
Speak about Amaterasu right now.
Okay, I'm pretty sure by you've learned most of your knowledge of Amaterasu over the years as a proxy through my hype for Okami since 2007 when it came out on the Nintendo Wii, and quickly ascended to become my personal all-time favorite game. You know, and now looking back on it, almost 20 years later, we've come to a time where it's okay to say, you know, that the game has become a little rougher around the edges. You know, you can see it in the arena-based combat, and which is a little Devil May Cry-esque actually, et cetera, et cetera. But it's still absolutely beautiful, artistically, aesthetically, and culminates into this great living, breathing world of an action RPG. It's earned its keep and its pedigree. It's to the cult level of such as like an Ocarina of Time, both in my book and generally speaking. So that's why, you know, that's why this game and this character, it's like Zelda, but you play as a dog. You are a dog. We already screwed over one white dog in this competition. Do we want to do it again? Amaterasu. Amaterasu will bring a lot to the table. There's not a moveset on the Smashtopia wiki yet, and that's because we've already committed to potentially doing a moveset together. But otherwise, we'll see. But yeah, the character of Amaterasu, like Link, is voiceless, doesn't have a lot to say besides barks and you know, growls. But she's very dog-like, the dog icon form of the goddess of the sun in Japanese culture. Has the celestial brush as her main weapon. You see it in Marvel vs. Capcom in a fighting game style. So you can just translate that into Smash. You have her reflectors, her glaives, her beads. You know, different weapons to fight with. It's a Kamiya game, a Clover / Platinum game. So you are getting some Dante Bayonetta-esque ideas here, where you have a combo heavy quadruped rather. A very well-rounded combo heavy bipedal quadruped with a slew of ink-based magic attacks, such as summoning the sun, using solar energy and ink pots to bring for this doesn't have a list of the celestial brush techniques. That's excellent. Thank you, Okami Wiki. But there's you can draw a giant cherry bomb. You can slap people around with water or fire. You know, there's a number. Essentially, there's a number of techniques. One that I like to is using Amaterasu being a goddess of nature as well, having the bloom effect. So when she runs around, you can see flowers follow her every footstep, popping up and popping down. Finding a way to incorporate that into the moveset will kind of be my champion's clarion call
I mean,
thing that I want
I
to
feel
try
like
and
you
do.
don't have to incorporate
Yeah.
a moveset. Just say that when Amaterasu runs, little bits of grass and
Oh
flowers
yeah.
sprout up behind him, and they only last for like, you know, a couple steps before they
Mhm.
disappear. But I can just
No,
be like a
absolutely.
normal effect.
From the aesthetic standpoint, yes, but I mean the actual bloom effect where you circle around a tree, for instance,
Oh,
and
that's
with the
what you mean.
curse.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So that could be something that you can use on herself and cure status effects or any number of other things. Heal slightly. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, there you go. Dog. That's probably the strongest argument. Dog. Magic. Unusual magic. Deity magic. Nature magic.
And time's up.
And also, there's that bug. There's a little bug, and he's very loud. It reminds me of one of our friends.
Eric?
Close enough, yes. Yep.
All right. So we've heard about Amaterasu. Now let's talk Geno. From Super Mario RPG,
Geno, yeah.
Perhaps not the main character, but perhaps the one that's maybe kind of more important to the actual story of what the fuck's going on than just Mario. Because the game just starts out with, oh no, Peach has been kidnapped. Mario's got to go save her. Then you find out, no, actually, there's this mystical road in the sky made up of stars, and it broke, and without it being fixed, we can't grant wishes anymore. And hi, I'm from that place, so help me fix it. Geno is effectively the main character of the story, even if he's not the main character of the game. While it never even got a sequel, it's a collaborative effort between Nintendo and Square. Its fans are still proud of it to this day. It's an RPG back when the Super Nintendo didn't really have too many, I don't believe. I mean, obviously, we all know Chrono Trigger. We know Final Fantasies 4, 5, and 6 were on Super Nintendo, although not if you're in America. We only had 2 of those. But still, it's Geno in Super Mario RPG, amazing character, amazing game. He doesn't have as many things to him that he can do as Amaterasu. He doesn't have glaives and reflectors and beads. No, instead he can shoot bullets out of his arm. Or tiny little star pellets. Or he can turn into a cannon and shoot a giant flash of light. Or he can make beams of light fall from the fucking sky because he's essentially... Well, Amaterasu is a divine figure. Geno's not too far of a step down because he's literally a fucking star possessing a puppet's body. How fucking wild is that? I mean, come the fuck on. We've already screwed over one white dog. Who's to say we can't screw over another one, as they say?
I think also a point in Geno's favor is that his name is so powerful that we just read it as a swear word.
Yeah.
So
we cannot pronounce his true name, so he's just like, yeah, my name is like, I don't remember it offhand. It's
Music
like Star,
note, heart, star.
Yeah, it was like star, heart, music note, exclamation point. I think is the order. It might be heart first. I'm not really sure. It's been a bit since I saw the text. But since we can't pronounce it, he's just like, yeah, the doll that I'm in is called Geno, so just call me that. It's fine. Whatever. Let's go stop Smithy and his minions and fix the fucking Star Road so that the princess can wish that she doesn't get kidnapped again. That sounds worthy, right? Somebody wished for cricket pie. Somebody wished to meet their parents. I'm starting to realize some of these wishes were getting granted without the Star Road being fixed. But hey, Luigi didn't get his wish. Sucks
Luigi
to be him.
never gets his wish.
Luigi never.
What a
gets
man.
His wish. But yeah, like Geno, I fucking love the guy. Jonno, I know you like Geno as well. Even though Amaterasu is your number one. Super Mario RPG is a game that I will never dislike. It's always going to be one of my favorites. I replay it every couple of years or experience it by watching somebody else play it every couple of years because there's so many games to play now. It was the very second game I ever recorded for a Let's Play for. I just want Geno in more than any other character. I'll accept other characters, but that's who I want the most.
Not Piranha Plant, though. You do not accept Piranha Plant. You do not do that.
No! No! Never! Bad!
This is the second Golem impression tonight.
Geno's precious. Yes. Only wish to catch a Geno.
Oh my god. Now you need a marionette of Geno in your room. for your display. Okay, well, he looks at that. Jake can deliberate.
You've put me up to quite a difficult task picking between two very beloved characters for the two of you, and for various reasons, personal and also just from a moveset perspective, like both of these characters do offer some very promising movesets. Very unlike any other character really have in Smash, no matter which way it goes in the end. So I think to that end, there's no real wrong decision in my head. Like both of these characters would be excellent fits for Smash. Both of them would be a lot of fun. You've got the cult classic status of Okami itself, a beloved game for many people, very much in the style of Smash, or of Zelda rather, that I think merits another look if people definitely haven't had a chance to play it or experience it in some form.
Right.
A lot of fun, a really cool character concept in premise with Amaterasu being, as you mentioned, the material avatar of the divine sun goddess. Like, I think that's a really cool and compelling story note.
Yeah.
Equally compelling though is Gino descending from, like, also sort of as close to a deity as I think you can really get, or at least a demigod as you can get in the Mushroom Kingdom. Super, like, a cool character design, has become extremely recognizable. If people didn't know about Gino before everybody was revving their hype cycles for the last, probably like since
years.
pre-Brawl, since before Brawl, like every Gino is being like one of those, like, oh, we absolutely will like see Gino one day. Square, like, especially with I think if we were all still hanging out on GameFAQs to this day, like, Gino is almost assuredly, if he's not like the number one on these Rate My Chances boards now, like, is certainly top 5. So
yeah.
Whereas I think Amaterasu, maybe in more recent years, John, to what you said earlier, is Okami is not the fresh, like, spunky game that it was when it came out around the time when it did come out. But it's not about who has better odds. It's about who I'd rather see.
Yep, it's about who you would rather
and who I'm going to really disappoint in this regard.
And who you're going to personally drive a knife in the back of.
It's so true.
I'm convincing myself now that I cannot leave the chat because it would screw up the OBS pattern when I come back. So I will refrain from this. Anyway.
You will refrain from this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that while the moveset potential for both of these characters is awesome, and we've explored these characters many times together over the many years that we've been doing Smash related movesets and speculation and stuff like that. But the character who I would personally rather see in Smash, Lister, I think you must have been putting a wish on Star Road yourself, because I am voting for Gino.
Yes.
Gino is the character I would rather see in Smash.
I didn't expect this.
You didn't expect it?
No.
I did. You want to know why?
No.
You want to know why? Okay, because a long time ago on the Smashtopia wiki, Jake made the info. Is one of his little projects he was doing in the past was revamping our info box to be away from Wikipedia.
He made a different info box, and he only posted it on 3 characters: Mario, Balloon Fighter, and Gino.
Yeah. So where has this been? I knew from the start.
I mean, I figured
literally months ago. Anyway,
the way I saw it was like when CSW, I've run those polls in there. The first poll I did was, who do we want to have added to the Smash as a Smash newcomer? And Amaterasu fucking made it to the very fucking end and won in a landslide. And I'm just like over here, it's like half you fucking people I know are only voting because of dog, but god damn it.
Yeah.
And Amaterasu beat Gino in that poll. So I just assumed Amaterasu would do the same thing here.
We should have tracked who voted for Amaterasu in that poll and then had them on this show instead of Jake today.
No. Although...
Probably Krista, actually. Can you bring her in here?
Yeah, I can ask.
Krista 100% voted for Amaterasu. Are you fucking kidding me?
There's no question.
There's
Krista
no
absolutely
question.
did not vote for
Because Gino is ugly.
He's a puppet.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, I'm sure I've tipped my hand historically with this a little bit. Like John, as you mentioned, like much of what I know about Okami is through you and through your love for this series series of 2 games is radiant. Like I probably would not have given that game another look had it not for how much like love you have for that game. I probably would have been like, yeah, it's a Zelda-like game, and it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's stylistically impressive, but especially for the time. But I probably would not have paid it as much mind. I probably would have regarded it in the same way that I like other iconic cult classic games, like say or
Shadow of the Colossus or something.
yeah, exactly. Like extremely great example. Shadow of the Colossus is like a very well regarded cult classic game that, like, I think highly like an interesting game. Like, but it's just not one I probably will play anytime soon. Okami has a different status in my heart, where it's like, yeah, a really good friend of mine loves this game, and because of that, I'm extremely likely to play it.
Yeah.
So, but I am a Super Mario RPG apologist as well. I do love Gino as a character design. I think he's got really fun, cool moveset potential. Even if he doesn't make it into Smash, I won't be broken up about it. But I'm kind of and I think that to the point of I'm sure some people are out there being like, why do these people care so much about this character from 20 years, like from 30 years ago, closer to 30 years ago, that has never had a sequel, that has like pretty much an Ice Cube's chance in hell of making it into Smash?
Same question, King K. Rool.
Sorry, repeat?
Same question, King K. Rool.
Yeah, that's true. But I do
Same
think
question,
like,
Mock Rider.
Yeah. Well, to me, like I know.
It's like we like what we like.
Yeah, exactly. And to me,
Incredible.
there's this cool puppet possessed by a star spirit, and like he's got like this badass attitude for as much as you could care, as much personality as you could squeeze out of pixels crossing their arms and nodding their head, right? Like it's he's a really cool character, and known Super Nintendo RPG fan. Yeah, I tipped my hand a little bit. I'm kind of surprised, listener, that does, but
I think he's just more
sorry,
so than
Jonno.
extremely disappointed by Amaterasu winning things that he just expected it again. It's like being beaten over the it's.
I mean, I've
it's
gone
happened
back
every
to check that poll. 13 people voted. The final 2 in that poll we did years ago was between Amaterasu and Spyro the Dragon, which, interesting enough, was also the Smash Bros. Episode matchup that Amaterasu was in this season against Spyro.
Because of that poll?
No, not because of that poll.
That's really funny then.
That matchup. But I'm looking at the list of people who voted in that poll, and unless, when I asked the question, who are you? Unless you gave a different name, you didn't vote in that one.
There are a few that I didn't get around to voting in for sure, and
Okay.
if I was to vote if I retroactively was to vote, my vote would go to Amaterasu. I
Against
think
Spyro,
like
at least.
there are a lot of characters I would vote Amaterasu over, and certainly a lot in that poll. I voted.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
In the Amaterasu versus Geno matchup, where Amaterasu demolished Geno, though, Geno would have gotten a third vote.
I didn't check that one.
Was it not
Anyway.
close at all? Was it like a lot of?
I'm not sure about that one. I didn't look for that one. I just looked for the Amaterasu
Yeah.
one.
I would be interested to know what the score of the Amaterasu versus Geno matchup was, because I do like, you know, the server that we're discussing here is notably like quite a few people who are not, like, first of all, not gamers typically, and second of all, like, moreover, are not interested really in Smash itself, like in the same way that the three of us are now.
Right.
So like
in
you
round 2, 14 votes were cast. I do not see Jake's name as a voter, but some people gave false names such as "I'm helping" or "Long-haired beauty" or "Ya boy Dave Franco." And M. Woomy and me. So I don't know who these people are. I don't know who Aardvark was either. Actually, I kind of think I might know who that one was. But it was 9-5 between Amaterasu and Geno.
Okay.
That's
quite demolishing. So
that's interestingly closer than I kind of thought it might be based on the server makeup of the poll voters that we have. But
yeah.
If from Lester's visceral reaction to it,
yeah, I'm almost certain that I voted for Geno in that poll.
Yeah.
But and yeah, I mean, like, not that I would be upset with Amaterasu character, but I do think that I'm with the hive mind of the rabid fanboys that are screaming, "Where's Geno?" at every Smash Direct that we have. Like, I'm kind of there. Like, I think it there demands the voice. Like, I think it's not just North American fans. It is also fans in Japan that are keen to have some form of representation of Geno. I would love for that to be a Smash character. I would happily take another Super Mario RPG game. But
same.
I'd
take a fucking remake.
Wait, a remake would be good?
How incredible that for the last 2 decades, community has managed to keep the game. I mean, it's the game alive. The interest
the spirit
in the game,
of it.
interest in Geno. Yeah, precisely.
We're wishing upon a star.
Funnily enough, there's still one more matchup.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
we still need to get to.
Unfortunately, the hype here is going to it's going to quickly become less of a fierce battle in my mind. But let's see. Let's bring it home strong.
All right, so in the finals, we have Dante from Devil May Cry versus Dr. Wily of Mega Man.
A Capcom heavyweight juggernaut battle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jake, you made it sound easy. So what's your vote?
Yeah. Well, in my mind, it is a little bit easy. I don't really. Although now that I'm thinking about it, it's not as easy. It's not as easy as maybe I thought it was. I think that Tony Hawk would have been a more interesting finalist here, but now I'm kind of regretting the way that
I agree with this. Yes.
I kid. For for the reasons that we discussed earlier, and I do kind of touch back to, you know, also a little bit about what Lister was saying, about what Zantok was saying about the rules that he follows, about, you know, preferring with third parties that we would get different representations from different series before we get a second villain, or a second character rather. I do think that with that in mind, I like the idea of seeing our friend Dante from the Devil May Cry series as the representation for another Capcom character. It becomes only challenging because Dr. Wily has a much more whimsical and fun moveset potential.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's a lot more to draw on that is quite interesting and fun and varied than as we discussed as well. Like with Dante, you're getting maybe you're encroaching a little bit onto the Bayonetta turf of how the combo gaming might work and how the moveset might pan out and the same kind of overlapping themes.
To that token, I'll tell, at least as far as Bayonetta is concerned in Smash, she's honestly fairly basic compared to what they could have done with her. They could have gone well with her, giving her a bunch of different weapons and whatnot, but all she has in Smash is her feet guns. She
sure does have those.
Yeah, she has a sliding attack, and then she has her counter with the Wicked Weaves for her, as far as her special attacks are concerned, that is. And then all her regular attacks are just like basic punches and kicks. And then she again uses Wicked Weaves to create gigantic fists and feet made out of hair. Dante, they can go in a different direction with. Give him his guns and swords, sure, but he can have his guitar attack. He can have his gauntlets that he has in one of the games. Go up. They can give him the fucking Stetson weapon that he gets in Devil May Cry 5, because for some reason they're just like, yeah, let's give him a cowboy hat for a weapon. Fuck yeah, let's do it. It's like, all right, sure.
Yeah. And also, if Dante were in Smash, you would finally get the answer you're asking for, of whether he has a good ass or not, because Sakurai would probably.
We were all asking that question.
I mean, well, hang on. He did nerf Snake's ass. Snake's ass was nerfed.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. If it's about the booty, like, I mean, it's no competition in my mind. I know which way but
Wario?
Is it about the booty?
Same.
That's the question.
Dr. Wily would easily win. I mean,
both of their asses are kind of covered up by
on Tuesday.
Both of them are wearing trench coats, so it's not easy to see either of their asses.
It's so unfortunate that we had this like really good and interesting discussion about
Kino and Amaterasu. Now we're talking about butts.
Now we're talking about butts, and like there's literally from a personal level on either of the characters.
Butts disease is contagious. What can I say?
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah. I just think, we've gone through the rounds with these two characters, and we've exhausted our personal biases, our canon warrants, and we've just kind of come to this conclusion where I think we know in our minds where we want to go. And
same.
Perhaps we should just vote.
Perhaps we should. Do you want to lead?
On 3,
I don't
we
want
all
to,
say.
but I will. Oh, okay.
And by on 3, I mean I'll count down to 3, and then after I say 3, that's when we say it, just so we're clear. Because they say on 3, but it's really after 3. Anyways, 1, 2, 3, Dante.
Oh.
All right, that's 3 votes for Dante.
I did not expect that. I thought you were going to vote Dr. Wily.
I know you did. That's why I was throwing that in there, just like, oh yeah, it's easy. I know it's easy. Like, of course I know it's easy. It's Dante. Come on. That being said, we're not done. The final true ultimate match is Dante versus Gino.
Fuck. Okay.
Fuck.
Gino.
Oh,
Gino.
That's easy. Gino.
Okay, that's 3 votes for Gino. Dante is the official winner, but Gino is the winner in our hearts.
But maybe Amaterasu represents the friends that we made along the way.
I thought that was Tony Hawk.
No, Tony, who?
Bringing it
Tony
back
Hawk.
around. Good.
The guy that we all want to see.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he looks like.
I don't know. He got outspun by an 8-year-old kid. I don't know.
If he were in Smash tomorrow, after this discussion, I would not be mad. You would be, Zantok.
I would be, because what the fuck? You said we were done, and now you're adding in Tony Hawk as an extra thing, like a couple years later? Yeah, I'd be a little upset.
Yeah, me too. In a good way.
All
I'd
right.
be a good upset. I'd be happy.
So, that is a wrap on not just the Tournament of Champions Volume 3, but also on Season 3 of Super Cast Brothers itself.
Thank you, God.
That said, I have some bad news to share. We have not yet been canceled, so that means you can see us in a couple weeks with the start of Season 4. God damn it.
Yeah, seasons are fairly arbitrary on this show. We just kind of go right back
it's
into
just
it.
like
So.
we just have like a set amount of episodes that we call a season, and then that's just it.
Mm-hmm.
That
The
way
seasons
we
are
can
really
have an
defined by
ending.
this. Yeah, the final cycle. Yeah, we wouldn't be doing
Yeah.
this if we didn't have seasons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, Eebit, thanks for coming back on and being a good guest for this Tournament of Champions. We'll have to have you back on for another episode, although we know we've wanted to have you back on for an episode earlier in the season, but schedules just didn't allow for it.
Yeah,
we had to actually
it
scrap
happened.
that episode, actually. Because we were going to have you on for a character. And then you were just like, yeah, I can't be around. It's like, all right, I guess we'll maybe do that character some other day.
Oh,
Who knows?
sorry.
I don't remember this.
We'll talk after the show. Because it did happen.
Okay. We just had to slip that in there at the very end because.
So yeah, see you for Season 4. What's it going to start with? You'll find out when it happens.
I would just like to add that Eebit has once again, as he has over the many years, broken my heart. Goodbye.
I'm sorry. Thanks for having me on the show, though. It was a lot of fun and always is. And sorry to break the hearts of the many. And anyway, vote for Gino for Smash.
Oh, you have a sweet face.
For betrayal?
Sweet. Yes, it's unbecoming when you see it in a certain light.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Like a mask of friendship lost. Anyway,
I hope it's not like that.
It would be if you met me 10 years ago. Good.
I did meet you. Well, no, quite a little more than 10 years ago.
You met me over 10 years ago.
Oh, okay. So we're cool. We're cool now. We're like, even though, I voted not for Amaterasu. We're still cool because I met you.
I look after all of everybody. It's my job as a community leader and role model to care about those whose opinions are different from my own, even when they are deathfully wrong, because I know that they are still citizens of the world and need to be taken care of and cared for. Well, that's how I view you today, and I want you to know that it's okay.
That's the strongest worded, but also the kindest way of saying "fuck you" I think I've heard in a while. So,
and on that note, I think we end this episode. See you all next time.
Thanks very much.